All right, welcome back. Let me see. Let me take out that version I just played. It shouldn't be there anymore. Delete that. There you go. Yay! In-law management in marriage. Let's get into the real class for the day. We're not going to take too long. There's a couple of things. I got to make sure I round up on time so that Uncle Beno can start his show. Let's see. Uncle Beno says, "Hi, MOP got me. I'm still learning my wife." You know what time it is, Uncle Beno. But to be fair to them, I think they're still learning us too. If they're, that's one of the things we're going to learn in this story. Ladies, you have to remain a student of your husband. You have to remain a student of the game. There's just too many people moving mad, respectfully, from common sense standpoint, thinking that how could you? Something is supposed to be a certain way. But how can you claim that you love me and you do that?
These nuts.
How can you claim that you love me and you can do that to
These
me?
nuts.
Oh, Lord. Marriage is not anybody's mate.
He shock you.
More importantly, more specifically, let me put it this way. Emotions no be your mate.
I never spelled it.
No, it's not what you think. It's not what you thought over the past 10 years of your marriage. It's not what you thought over the past 12 years of your marriage. You need to remain a student. Remaining a student simply means you keep an open mind. You keep an open mind. All right. The idea that you've discovered everything there is to learn about your partner, number one, that's why they don't want to have sex with you anymore. You're boring. They are boring you out. It's boredom is killing a lot of marriages because they've discovered they know everything. They know exactly where you're going to lay your stomach up like this and just lay down there every night. Same old thing all the time. You're supposed to know. They know exactly how you're going to respond, how you're going to react to crisis. They know everything. Marriage for most people is just boring. Let's just face the fact. I didn't mean to laugh. Okay, it's just boring. Let's just face the fact. Yeah, marriage for most people is just boring. That's the reality. That's why people have wandering eyes. That's why they're look. They're looking like what else is going on out there. It's either they're doing that or they're busy scolding their partner, treating them like a child, treating them like there's nothing else to learn. So there's two sides to this, right? You're looking at your partner, you know everything there is to know about them. See finish, you're taking them for granted, right? Or you're resenting a partner that's taking you for granted. It's one of those two things. You fall in one of those two categories. Yeah. And you're always looking for some same old rhetoric, like the mother-in-laws are just the devil. They're just the devil. To the extent that some people are literally praying that their mother-in-law is dead before they get married.
Why the fuck you lie?
That's a lie, by the way. That's a lie. Yeah. You're probably going to marry somebody who still has a mother. Okay? But they're saying it as small like that. They're saying it sometimes like it's a jokey. It's not that deep, but they're serious. It's coming from a real place. Okay, even if they don't mean it like that, it's coming from a real place of fear, because the only story they've heard is just evil mother-in-laws. Mother-in-laws, yes, they can come off as evil. That includes you if you're a mother of boys. I'm warning you right now. Okay, I know it's very easy to point fingers at your own mother-in-law. If you're a mother of boys, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. And it's not going to happen to you exactly the way it happened to your own mother. or your own wife or your own sister. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to come. It's consistent. It's going to come from a blind spot. Yep. Like everybody else. Right? It's going to be like, yo, I thought you were better. I thought I saw all the red flags. I tried to avoid all the red flags. What are the red flags? Anybody who is a firstborn, a first son of a mother.
I never expected it.
Gotta be careful. See, all those old stories that you're carrying around, they make you a red flag. They make you a walking red flag. So you got to be careful. So we do have a story that we want to cover today. I want us to get through it. And then we're going to learn. It's going to be a form of extended coaching session for my clients, because majority of them have to deal with some type of in-law management in one shape, form, or the other. Let's see. Licentra says, I have been dating my boyfriend for 2 years now. I'm scared of getting married to him due to the way he tells his mom everything, and she calls him like 4 to 5 times in a day. He's the breadwinner. Here's the thing. If you're in America or in Europe, you need to sign up for coaching with me for 12 months, and we need to engage your boyfriend. That's part of the things that people are supposed to learn before going into marriage. But you know what most people do? They just wing it and they go into the marriage. And yes, you're absolutely correct. It will bite you in the butt later, and it will not be mother's fault. Okay? It will not be mother's fault. Okay? But here's the other thing I want to tell you about that. If you leave your boyfriend because of this one reason, there's a good chance that the next boyfriend is also going to have the same problem. Because am I going to tell him not to connect with his mother and feel connection with his mother? It's his mother, right? But we're talking about marriage, which is not anybody's mate, right? Everything that's good about marriage is a double-edged sword. It can cut both ways, right? As much as a man who doesn't have any relationship with his mother is a red flag, a man who is now sharing everything with his mother can also pose to be a red flag. Does he know how to manage that when real life kicks in later on? When you are inside of a marriage and then you found out that everything about your marriage, your mother-in-law knows now, right? Now I have another question for you. Would you be sharing everything with your own mother? There's a good chance that you won't. So if you won't, I'm just assuming best case scenario. If you won't share everything with your mother, guess what that becomes when you're looking at your boyfriend? It becomes unrealistic expectations. The top two things that's destroying marriages, no, it's not finances and infidelity, no, stop the cap, okay? The top two things is unrealistic expectations and pride. These are the reasons why people cannot manage financial crisis. These are the reasons why they don't know how to handle themselves when it comes to small disagreements between themselves about finances. These are the reasons why you will be attracted to somebody who will take you for granted and disrespect you by way of infidelity. Unrealistic expectations, pride. You can map all of it down to that. Okay? And of course, you see the two other ones on the screen too. If you're not friends with your husband, you're probably not having sex from time to time. But those tend to be symptoms. Let's leave the topic alone for now. But just so you know, the best thing is to engage wise counsel. It doesn't have to be me. Engage wise counsel, and it needs to be 12 months long. That's my prescription. You don't have to wait until the 12 months is finished before you get married. The other question for Licentra or anybody like Licentra is, it's really not your place to be worrying about marrying, right? Has he popped the question yet or not? If he hasn't popped the question yet, I'm not even sure that this should be any one of your worries, okay? So, go figure. So, let's get into the story today. So, we want to talk about in-law management. In-law management is one of the major departments of your marriage that's going to create a lot of trouble for you if you're not prepared for it. Especially for you that you think you know everything there is to know about in-laws, particularly from a cultural standpoint. Oh yeah. you never see anything yet.
I never expected it.
Especially you know, because oftentimes you lack emotional intelligence when it comes to in-law management. The only standpoint you tend to come from is that in-laws are either the devil, that's one extreme, or in-laws are off limits. They must be respected at all times. It's one of the two extremes that you come from when it comes to cultural. It's either you're resenting the culture or you're resenting people that resent the culture. If you're either of those two people, you will collect.
Sorry, yo.
You want me to repeat it? Let me repeat it. It's either you resent cultural norms, culture itself, with respect to how we treat in-laws, or you resent a partner that can't see that. Okay, let me repeat it. I think I messed it up a little bit. It's either you're resenting culture or you are resenting a partner who resents culture. If you are any one of those two people, you will
Sorry, yo.
if you're just on the internet commentary, no, you are fine. Okay, not really. It will bite you in the butt later in the future, but I'm saying for now you're fine. If you're in this situation right now, it's boiling, it's hot right now, and you fall in either of these two categories, you resent culture and cultural norms when it comes to in-laws, or you resent your partner who resents culture and cultural norms, or they seemingly. If you're on any one of those extremes, you collect.
Sorry, yo.
You're not going to enjoy your marriage. No. You'll still be right, by the way. I'm not going to take your right to be right away from you. You know me. I'm not going to do that.
Well, you're right.
Yeah. I won't take that away from you. You're still right. Okay? You feel like, oh, women have been collecting shege for decades from these in-laws, especially the sister-in-law. No, you're still right. Or you feel like all these people that are trying to they forget where they come from. Hey, these modern women, they've forgotten their culture. And you are going through this right now. Baba. They're usually Baba. you collect.
Sorry, yo.
And it won't be funny. It won't be funny. You just be arguing with your destiny for the most part. As in your partner. As in, you won't be having a good time in your marriage. Yes, that's going to tamper with your sexual health, your sex life as a couple. That's going to tamper. You're going to build a lot of resentment beyond just the resenting the culture and cultural norm. You're going to build a lot of resentment around that. It's going to be a lot of awkward moments. Here's one thing you can't take away, especially from those of us that come from a place of culture where culture is really driven. You're going to end up in events where family members, extended family members are always part of. Cousins want to play with each other. I know people, personally, more than one or two people that will say, my children can't go to that house. Whose house? Their cousin's house. Because of the level of resentment they have when it comes to in-laws. You know. So we're going to learn a lot of lessons here today. Lit Central say he hasn't popped the question yet. I have been asking when we are getting married and he's not happy hearing that. He always say he's not financially buoyant. Are you in Nigeria or you are outside of Nigeria? That's a very important piece of information. Are you in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria? Let me get to the story. Here's the story that we're going to cover today. Okay, so I'm going to get through it. And then in addition to that, I'm going to share 5 tips when it comes to in-law management with you. Particularly with there's more tips, but with respect to this story, okay? So over the past few years, my in-laws have visited from Africa yearly, one time. They stayed more than 3 months. Though my husband helps with the house chores, housework, culturally, the responsibility of taking care of them falls on me. Particularly because the woman gets judged if anything goes wrong. Let me slow down for a second there. When you host in-laws as a couple, who carries the responsibility of making sure that they are good? Making sure that they are well taken care of? Who carries the responsibility? I'm coming to the chat. Who carries the responsibility? No context yet. Just tell me, who do you think carry the responsibility? You're in Europe. If you're in Europe, he's not ready. You need to cut it loose. Okay? It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. You need to cut it loose if you're in Europe and he's saying that. He's not ready. He's not ready, not necessarily because it's not his fault. He's also not a husband, obviously. So if that's something you're ready for, the more time you spend with the wrong people, the more time you spend away from the right people. So keep that at the back of mind. He could be the right people. Right now, it's not the right people. He's not the right person, right? He could end up becoming the right person. You're not giving an ultimatum. This is about you. If it's something you're ready for, cut him loose, let him go. Letting go is a power move. Okay. All right. So, who carries the responsibility when it comes to hosting the mother-in-law? When it comes to, okay, so let me be more specific. If the mother-in-law is the husband's mother, in particular, and they are coming over to visit. So this is a lady that I'm reading the story from right now. Who carries the responsibility? The husband, the actual son of the parent, or the wife, the wife-in-law? Who carries the responsibility? Anybody? Yes. I'm waiting before we continue. Lady Nova says the leader carries the responsibility. Okay. The head. Okay. Who carries the responsibility of hosting the mother-in-law, the mother and the father-in-law, the parent-in-law? When it comes to father, the parent-in-law, the parents of the husband, if they are visiting and they are staying a little bit of extended time, like 3 months, who carries the responsibility of making sure that they are doing, that they will be well taken care of while they're staying? That's a pop quiz for us. Lady Nova says leader. Anybody else? Listen behind the scenes. If you're not subscribed, you can't comment. You have to subscribe to comment. Chinye says the wife for the most part. Okay. Anybody else? When you say the leader, is it the husband or the wife? Lady Neva, I don't want to make assumptions. Do you mean the husband or the wife? Is it the son of the actual couple or? Yeah. Interesting. Lady Neva still says the wife is the helpmate and it's her mother. It's her mother. She handled that. No, not her mother. It's the husband's mother. Right? So if the husband's mother and father are staying over, who carries the responsibility of making sure that the husband's mother and father are okay and they are well taken care of while they're staying with the couple? The husband or the wife? Their own son or their daughter-in-law? Husband, right? Husband. Right? Who carries the responsibility? I see here that Lit Centra says the woman of the house. Okay. So the wife? No. Who carries more? We have to pick one. Who carries more? So you're saying the wife or the husband? Uncle Beno, if you're still there, let me see your comment on this. Who carries the responsibility more? The wife or the husband? Wife or husband? Wife or husband? Who carries it more? It looks like the consensus here is wife. The woman should take care of the responsibility. She can handle that aspect better. Wife. Right. So I think it's more like wife. I think most people agree that it's the wife. Lady Never says husband. Okay. So, lady in the voice, an American. The rest of una African people says it's the wife. There's something there that we should pay attention to, right? But let me keep going with the story. All right, we're gonna learn something here today. We're gonna learn the hard way today. Oh, you said both. You did say both, but with the African culture, it's not both. Particularly from a standpoint of expectations. Okay, particularly from a standpoint of expectations, not necessarily what you will prefer or what it should be, but from a standpoint of expectations of most of the parties involved when we're looking at the African culture for the most part. And I don't want to make assumptions around all African, particularly Yoruba culture. Maybe the Igbo people think that way, I'm not too sure. Some people, when they come abroad to visit their relatives, their mindset is on vacation mode. They're only there to relax, not to help with house chores. No, I'm not talking about the parents. I'm talking about between the actual couple that's hosting, the host couple, who is more responsible from an expectation standpoint for making sure that the ones on vacation are well taken care of. The husband will probably provide, we're going to make an assumption that the husband provides, right? Because when the wife takes care of the home, she will provide cooking, clean the home, comfortable, making the home. All right. So again, from an expectation standpoint, let's keep going. So there's cultural context in this you'll find in a second. Okay. So again, though my husband helps with the housework, culturally, the responsibility of taking care of them falls on me. That's the woman talking. Particularly because the woman gets judged if anything goes wrong. Do we agree that the woman gets judged in the Nigerian Yoruba people context? Do we agree or we don't agree? Typically, we're generalizing. Typically, right? Do they get judged? Can they get judged if her in-laws are not taken care of? If it's our own parents, she might not get as judged. But if it's our parents' in-law, yes, she can get judged, right? Yes, no, maybe. Let's keep going. I feel like I'm the primary host as the woman in the family. Okay. All of them are hosts, right? But she feels like she's the primary host because of that cultural context, right? The expectations, not just by the in-laws, but oftentimes women also have these expectations of themselves. Uncle Beno, who is more responsible from an expectation standpoint of making sure that the parents of the husband is well taken care of if they're visiting the couple? Between the couple, who is more responsible, the husband or the wife, from an expectation standpoint, to make sure that the parents of the husband are well taken care of? That's the question. In the past, when I asked my husband when they plan to leave, so now they visit. In the past, when they visited, when I asked my husband when they plan to leave, he got angry and told me to stop cooking for his parents if it was stressing me out. Okay? If it was stressing me out. Now, I'm going to address this from both ends standpoint, okay? Not just the person that's talking. There are a couple of things that's going on here, right? When a woman comes to you and says, says, when are your parents leaving? By the time she does that, she had gone back and forth in her mind a million zillion times before she gained some courage to come and ask. Okay? And if you're defensive about that question, there's only one way you will react. And that's the way we're looking at here. If my parents are stressing you out, stop cooking for them. Remember what we're talking about, the responsibility of cooking for them, making sure they're okay and all that kind of stuff. the homemaking, that responsibility is on her because it's a societal, socialization expectation, right? So she's actually, even if you don't necessarily expect her to do that in real life, maybe because she's also said here that the husband helps with the housework. So maybe it's the kind of husband that really doesn't, it's not that deep for them. But again, there's the societal part of it. That's why social intelligence is important when we're dealing with marriage. It's not just what you think, it's not just what your partner thinks. You also have to look at the social context, right? And then think about how that translates to people using this to create unrealistic expectations of themselves and yes, of you sometimes. Okay? So it's not just as simple as, well, I'm not like that. No, it's not that simple, right? So when you react defensively to your partner, like, hey, if taking care of my people is too much for you, like, what that does is actually make them feel even more guilty. They already felt guilty before they came to you, which is why it took them time before they gained the courage to come and ask you that question. Now, that's one possibility. The other possibility is that your own wife is just straight evil and she doesn't want your people around. That's the other possibility. It's the unlikely possibility. Right? Because if it was actually the truth, you would not be sleeping on the same roof with her, not afraid of her, that she can actually take you out. Right? If this is the person you're having sex with, right, there's a good chance that she's not interested in having your people around. There's a good chance that these issues are actually issues at an emotional level, right? We're going to get there. Okay? I'm just guessing so far. I'm going by the information we have in front of us. So, again, I'm going to read that last sentence. I feel like I'm the primary host as the woman. It's a feeling. It's not necessarily the reality, but the feeling is just as valid. I feel like I am the primary host as the woman in the family. Right? Cultural context, socialization. She will feel the weight of, I'm responsible to make sure these people are okay. And then consequently, she will feel an overwhelm. She will feel pressure, right? And the pressure is coming from, she wants to make sure she does the right thing, right? But she's left with one choice, right? What she might consider to be communication. It's not really communication. I'm going to teach, if you happen to be the woman in this kind of story, I will teach you a better way to communicate in the future. I will tell you that the way you will come off, if you're already under so much pressure and you feel like these people are staying much longer, you're going to also come a little bit, you're going to be received as combative and confrontational, more likely than not. So if you come off as combative and confrontational, yes, he will also probably try to defend himself and say, hey, if you're taking care of my parents, if that's too much for you, please stop taking care of them. Then you feel a sense of guilt, and then you really never got anywhere. The inside of your mind, your emotions are messed up, and then everybody is funky. And we don't know where to pick up the communication again because it's all awkward now, right? It's all emotional. Stop looking at yourselves as your enemy and then having sex at the same time. You're not each other's enemies. No, you can become enemies, but it's just such a dangerous game to play. Your actions are saying you're enemies, but your other actions are saying you're married, you're comfortable. It's dangerous because you're not factoring the emotional part of this whole thing. You're just being quote unquote logical. A fake ass logic. Because you're not factoring the biggest variable, emotions. Anyway, let me come to the chat before we continue. Let's come to the chat. All right. Eyitayo Sharon says, welcome Eyitayo. It depends. If it is the husband cooks, he will continue to do cooking irrespective of visitors or no. You're correct. Until we bring in the emotional aspect of things, right? So think of it this way. Let's use a CEO and a business analogy, right? The CEO, let's say the CEO of an Amazon, I don't know how they operate inside of Amazon fulfillment centers. I have two big ones behind me over here. But I don't know how they operate. I'm just going to assume, right? Let's say the senior manager, the director of two different Amazon fulfillment center, right? They don't touch the packages, right? Unless there's some kind of testings or quality assurance things going on, right? They don't touch, right? But if something happens to those two, who is responsible? This is where we miss responsibility and accountability when it comes to relationships. Just because you're not hands-on responsible does not mean you're not responsible or accountable. So actually, in this context, you can use responsibility and accountability interchangeably, right? Just because you're not hands-on responsible does not mean you're not overall responsible, accountable, right? So who feels responsible is another conversation entirely too, because of cultural context, right? Again, while she might not be the one cooking, let's say she's just not the typical woman, she's not the one cooking at all, right? It doesn't mean that she still doesn't feel responsible. And feeling responsible is just something we need to acknowledge. We just need to acknowledge it, right? Like, okay, I understand. So we're gonna make sure that they're good. Don't worry, babe. I know you care about what you look like on the outside and stuff like all that. We're gonna take care of it. Just you being aware as a man that she feels the weight of that social expectation, social pressure, societal pressure and expectations. Just you being aware like that, it's not just useful in this one event. It's going to be useful in many other aspects of your marriage. It just means you're socially and emotionally intelligent and aware of what happens behind the scenes. You know, those forces of evil that is destroying marriages behind the scenes, that everybody's just confused. They don't know where they started and how they ended up here. Yeah, those forces. It just means you're super aware of those things. So you're correct. Everything will carry on unless she's like, between you and I'm not the cook, but I'd rather not have that. Let's just tell the truth. I don't want to live a fake life. Well, it's not that simple either, right? You can cook, right? She might even want to act like she's participating a little bit because the parents are around. And by the way, this is just you being the exception. We know it's not typical that the wife is not the one cooking or responsible for cooking at least. The husband might know how to cook and be able to throw down. It doesn't mean that the wife, a typical wife, doesn't feel responsible for the cooking and making sure that there's food and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, how that happens it varies from places to places, right? But good one, Itayo. If she don't get along with the mom-in-law, then to me, husband all the way. You cling to your wife, not mother, when married in the USA. Well, in modern times, you better be doing that. You know, they better understand that in the modern times, because again, the society is evolving, or they call it devolving, right? Either way, you need to know that there's change, and you need to learn how to adapt to change. That's everything in life, not just marriage, right? And if you don't like to adapt to change, you just argue with your destiny until you're tired. Your mouth will be ripping off like that. It will be like you're just struggling with yourself. But when you know how to adapt, not only you increase your chances of getting what you want. That same traditionality you want, you actually increase the chances of getting what you want by simply being aware that there is change, learning how to adapt. Then that increases. But when you argue with your destiny, it just gets worse and worse, because you're dealing with other human beings at the end of the day. There's another human being involved. Potentially more than one human being involved. So good point, Lady Navora. I hope they get that. So not just in the US, in these times that we live in, you better understand that you need to live to cleave to your wife, and that's the priority. If you don't get that, you will suffer. It's not me that said it. It's just the way it's going to work. It's just reality. Okay? And it's only a matter of time before your partner will say, I don't want to suffer anymore, because she didn't make that choice, right? All right. So they're going to stress you, even if a little, always the in-laws. Domestically, the wife. Yes. Domestically, the wife. You get the gist, Uncle Beno. That's why you added that. Okay? In reality, you call it holistically, I see, it's both. You're right. Right? So it's a matter of expectations. It's a matter of so if you're a woman and you have this domestically thing at the back of your mind, you're stressing yourself out. I want you to understand that your man is also a modern man, and he's probably not having that expectation of. And what matters is what he feels. If he says no, don't worry about that, you need to believe him and work with that. A lot of people inside of marriage, they're just busy worrying about what something looks like on the extended family, on the outside. You shoot yourself on the legs. You cannot carry that weight. It's too much weight for you to carry anyway, obviously, because you're getting stressed out, and now you're taking the stress out on your husband. You need to check that. That's why I wanted to point it out. Yes, from a societal pressure expectation standpoint, that was the expectation, culturally speaking, right? Yes, you might get judged, but are they really your judge? If they're not in reality your judge, you might want to just take that weight off of yourself. It's too much. You're going to stress yourself out, stress your immediate family out. Now, we're still talking about the host, right? Toby and try to say, if she doesn't do it, they might carry her story back to Nigeria. Exactly what we're saying, right? And by the time she hears that story back and it goes around and it comes back in circle, come back to her, she's going to feel guilty. She's going to feel resentful. She's going to feel like she needs to hate this in-laws even the more. So who can control this? The person that's complaining can absolutely control the expectations they put on themselves from a societal standpoint. The pressure you put on yourself is your responsibility. Okay, me and you can sit down here for the next 2 hours and be judging all the mother-in-laws out there for just loving on their sons, how they chose to love on their son from all they know, because they're just operating from what they know, which is often problematic, but it is what it is. But that's not going to change anything. The only thing that can change something is the expectations that you're putting on yourself, that you're inheriting from the society when it comes to this kind of thing. You do what you know how to do best. You do your best, right? Hopefully your best is good enough because you're still a player in this game, right? Yes, you too, you're a player in this game. Hopefully your best is good enough. Your best, if it's good enough, will be good enough. Trying to weigh yourself down with societal expectations will never be good. You will never satisfy them. That's the reality in this thing that we're talking about right now. All right, let me go here. This is really good. I like this, and the chat is lit. Yes, thank you. Let's see here. Never ever, Uncle Beno says, never ever allow your husband cook when his parent is around. It doesn't matter your education or how much money you make. Naija in-laws will dislike you. That's a good point. Now, there's a twist to this. Okay? There's a twist to this, Uncle Beno, and I want you to speak to this. As a matter of fact, Uncle Beno. Now you and I go. If you have time, Sha, I know you're probably busy too, but if you have time, let me drop the link. Okay, but we have to finish your time. I will make sure I finish on time because of you, because of your show coming up. But that's the link if you want to speak to this. There's a twist to this. There's a small twist. Okay. What if the husband is the one telling you like, no, I don't want to fake anything. The way we live our life is how I live our lives. The way we live our lives is how I live my life. I don't want to pretend to anybody, right? What if the husband is the one saying that, leading in that, right? And the wife is just as aware as what you're pointing out that no, I'm not going to allow you touching my kitchen when, right? Right? What if that's the case? Let's see. What if that's the case? Let's see. What did you say earlier? Stay a student of the marriage game. Yes, you gotta remain a student. You have to remain just like life. You remain a student of life. So it means keep an open mind. Yeah. Hit the like button. Thank you, Uncle Beno. All right. So true, the first visit, Uncle Beno. But if it's a cook and once it's okay, next visit. But show that the wife do her part in taking care of her son. So it gets very tricky if the weight of the cultural norm from African standpoint, one of the advices you're gonna get in this, let's sit down. Let's sit down and design how we're going to host and plan it out. Who's gonna do what and what's gonna do what? People think that this is a scrum meeting, like a morning scrum. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, since you guys are here listening to this right now. Right, let's just sit down and design it up front. Who's gonna be what role? What role do you take? Do you carry the pot and I carry the trash in the morning? Just so we can look a certain way. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. I mean, there's one little trick to this right now, but it's not really exactly a trick because there's two people involved. There's one solution to this. Both people have to be on the same page. Like literally, everybody else can go to hell once both people are on the same page. Literally, okay. But the problem is that there are two people involved. One person is interpreting cultural norm as is the end all be all, is disrespectful for you to question it. The other person is saying, I know, but I'm stressed the fuck out. And I need you to hear me. Right? We essentially have two coconut heads. At least one. That's all it takes, at least one. It takes at least one, right? It just depends which one is more powerful and when we're talking about this kind of stuff. So it gets very, very tricky. It gets very, very tricky. Lady Never said, my husband is a cook. That's why I said that. There's the American context to what you're saying. Over here, it wouldn't matter so much. Even my parents, they are Africans and they're here. If they come here and they see me cooking, it's really none of their business. That's the reality. It's really not a business. But then I was born here and then I spent most of my life here, right? But I understand the cultural context from Africa, but I understand it's a culture. It's a cultural expectation. It's not my reality. Like if they make that a big deal, that's on them. Right? But there's a lot of people that it's not that simple for. And majority of them are listening to me right now. And I'm trying to see if I can help them real quick. That's where we're going with this. You would think, is it not just food or house chores? Something as simple as cleaning? Oh yeah, it gets more complicated than that. It becomes a big deal because by the time they're in Nigeria and somebody's like, did you know the wife? They said the wife doesn't do anything in their household. They said it's the husband these days that he's the one that's washing her panties. Yeah, with hand. Wait, they don't have washers? No, she said she insists that no, they can't use washers, that the husband must wash her panties. By the time she hears that story, she's like, wait, what? That's what I'm simplifying it. It gets even worse than that. Because remember, she has to believe, all it takes is that she believes in this type of talks too. If she believes in this type of things, she would try to control that narrative that she's not that type of wife. And that's where she's wrong. If she just said that's what they say, to hell with them. Right? If she does that, everybody will be fine. Because remember, the husband doesn't even care too, right? But it's more of an emotional weight on her. It's an expectation that she put on herself that she inherited from the societal standpoint. Now, the husband is also enabling it because the husband is not emotionally intelligent. Oftentimes, they're not emotionally intelligent to say, I know how you feel, but don't worry. Like, she just needs your reassurance that you have her back. Right? The husband oftentimes will just be stuck on being right. And then sometimes they don't mind being in the funk just because they need to be right. It gets very, very nasty. Let me continue. All I asked for, okay, now the last sentence I said, he got angry and told me to stop cooking for his parents if it was stressing me out. The point was not that it was stressing her out. The point was basically, when are they going to leave? She's stressed out. Is she wrong? Is she right? It doesn't matter. If you think she's wrong, you're right. If you think she's right, you're right. It doesn't matter. What matters is that she's stressed out. And if she's stressed out, you're going to be stressed out too. Okay? She might not be direct. If you shut her down like that, eventually she'll learn other ways to cope. but she won't be telling you the truth. She won't reveal her true self. You know what that looks like sometimes? Sometimes you get dumped. Sometimes your family is separated. Sometimes you might actually be in the marriage, but you're living the lowest quality of life anybody can live. Is that really what you want? All I asked for was clear communication about their arrival and departure, but he feels it's disrespectful to ask that question, leaving me in a limbo. My parents haven't had a chance to visit due to visa restrictions, but when my uncle visited with his family, my husband was very hospitable. He feels I'm complaining just because it's his family. See what I just told you? It's not as simple as the husband is just wrong and he should just protect his family. His personality is welcoming, and he really doesn't care if anybody comes to visit. And even if his own in-laws from the wife's side, he will be welcoming. He's okay. He will share space with them. He will sleep in the freaking pantry. He will sleep in the garage just for them to sleep. He will do whatever it takes to be hospitable, right? But that's a personality. That's a personality type. There's certain types of people that are okay with that. Some other people, they kind of need their own me time, space, and privacy. It's what makes them what you like. It's what makes them what you fell in love with them about. Sorry for my English. It's literally part of what makes what you love about them. That's part of what makes it. The fact that they also like a me time, they like a privacy, they like to love on you. That's what makes who that person is. And when they show you the other side of it, oftentimes you're not okay with that. You resent it, right? So he's not a bad guy. It's not the bad guy. She's not the bad guy. He's not the bad guy. The issue here is lack of competency. People don't know what they're doing going into this marriage. That's what it is. Uncle Benosa, you're muted.
Hey, MOP.
How you doing?
I just do. I value your flow today.
Make her take a deep breath now. Because when I'm in it, I'm like, but when I see people, I just kind of relax. I remember that I say, oh, I can get some help. Anyway, we have to finish on time because you're going live, right? At 7.
Oh, don't even worry about it. It's just a rant. I usually create the story today, and then we'll have this discussion on Friday.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so you're postponing it? You're not doing it at 7 anymore?
No, I can do it at any time.
At any time. Oh, okay, all right.
Because the algorithm is favoring my lives more than ordinary videos, so sometimes I just want to do the live and leave it there. So later, my people will watch, and by Friday, we'll do the discussion.
Gotcha. Let me turn down my microphone a little bit because mine seems a lot more louder than yours. Can you still hear me now?
Of course.
All right, good. So everybody else, you can turn up your microphone a little bit. So this conversation is, let me finish reading this right now. It's a short one, actually. And then I want us to talk about it because this is, I have multiple clients right now going through this right now in one shape, form, or the other. Okay. So he feels I'm complaining just because it's his family. Because remember, it's hospitable. Okay. So let me read the last paragraph. All I asked for was clear communication about their arrival and departure, but he feels it's disrespectful to ask that question, leaving me in a limbo. My parents haven't had a chance to visit due to visa restrictions, but when my uncle visited with his family, my husband was very hospitable. He feels I'm complaining just because it's his family. Recently, he expressed that I'm not accommodating and that I complain too much when people visit. All I want is some privacy and comfort as a family. I don't mind short visits, but I just want to know what's happening. Now, his mom has called to say they are coming again, and he never mentioned it to me. He feels obligated to accommodate family and friends regardless of how I feel. His parents are coming soon, and although I don't mind because we've been working on our relationship, he still insists that my desire for communication about their stay hurts him. What can I do?
MOP.
You've dealt with this now before. Now you can handle this now, Uncle Beno. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Of course, you know my stand on this thing, and that's why I'm glad that you are treating many of these our Niger and African issues using the modern day experience, because these are the issues that are really breaking up a lot of marriages, especially when it comes to in-laws.
In-laws. Yeah.
Mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, they are wahala no dey finish
Yeah.
at all. So, I've mentioned this before. I think it was the first time when I appeared on Auntie B's show at Oyinbo TV, and I told people how I got my wife prepared in order to receive my aunt that happens to be like my mom. You see, when it comes to handling in-laws, husband and wife must be on the same page. And that is why when you asked earlier whose responsibility it is to take care of the in-laws, and my initial first response was both. And then when you break it down further, I say domestically, the wife is responsible.
Yeah.
And then when you look at it holistically, they are both responsible for that.
Right.
But this is where I like to talk to the men. Okay? It doesn't matter whether the wife parents are coming or your own parents are coming. There are some conversations you should have had with your wife regarding these issues.
Right.
If you don't mind, I can just share one little secret from my own personal marriage experience.
Please.
My wife and I, we are like a tag team. After we don't go through all our own bars boosts around the clock, we now understood each other better. And one of the tricks we use in handling in-law issues is that we look at the time. We just focus on the time frame. Okay, my auntie is coming, or my uncle is coming, whoever is coming. How long are they going to stay?
How long are they going to stay?
Yes, that question is paramount.
Why is that very important?
It's important because, for one, you know me now, I believe in do unto others what you want unto you. I like my space. I like my freedom. My home is my sanctuary. And when I'm in my home, I want to be free to do whatever I want to do.
Right.
And the same applies to the wife. The wife also needs her space. She needs her freedom.
So sorry, help me here. What if your wife is the welcoming type? There are some people. They are the type of people that they are welcoming. They are social and they don't mind, and you're now married to that kind of person. And how would you handle that?
We're still gonna define the boundary.
Defining the boundary.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, she's welcoming. She wants people around, everything. Auntie, we are still going to discuss the space. So it's good. She's welcoming. She wants people around and all that. That is fine. It's the family spirit, right? It's what everybody hope for. But we still have to discuss the time frame. Whoever is coming, it doesn't matter whether it's my mom or your dad or anybody that is coming. How long are they going to stay? And there is a reason for that. So if someone is coming from Nigeria to visit now, for instance, if they are coming on a visiting visa, we know they can have multiple entry, but it's going to be like 6 months top.
Right.
So that means we know when they are coming and we know when they are supposed to leave. Now, once we know when they are coming and when they are going to leave, we now discuss the character, which to me, and that's why I said I like to speak to men in this area. If your mom is coming, you know your mom better than your wife.
Right.
You know her expectations. You know how she wants things done. And of course, you know that your mom is not from this generation as a man. So prior to her coming, you should have had a conversation with your wife and tell your wife, oh, this is how my mom do things. This is how she go about her thing, blah, 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 blah. But I am not expecting you to do everything she wants you done. This is not her home. She is our guest. I'm that blunt. She's our guest. The only thing I want from you is to endure. In case this person comes around, and maybe something happen, you both don't get along like that.
Right.
Endure, because there is a time frame to it. We have
Right.
to-
These two shall. These two. So a lot of time you will see men that will say, they assume you're supposed to know that. Like, nobody they stay here forever like that anyway. You're supposed to already know.
Nope, nope, wrong approach.
Wahala ni o.
Wahala, new.
Like, you're supposed to just know, because if you look at that the story that I read, right? There's this he find the idea of asking at all. The idea of asking, clear communication, right? So oftentimes maybe he's not communicated enough. It's not like he didn't say it at all, but maybe he said, and then he just said, "You should know now." No, it's not clear enough for her. She wants to know, right? So oftentimes he said, all I asked for was clear communication about their arrival and departure, but he feels it's disrespectful to ask that question.
Well, the man don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He surely don't know what he's doing. Let's just be frank here. It's not too much for your wife to ask, "Oh, when is she coming? When are they leaving?"
Right.
If it is you, call. If it's the wife's parents that are coming,
If it is him, anyway, this is where we're missing it, Uncle Beno. If it is him, it's everybody.
no, it's still the wrong approach.
It's everybody's house. Like, just come over. We're family. We're friends. We take care of each other. We eat. We ginger. We jolly. Everybody is drinking Gouda. Everybody's just happy. And ideally, this person wants their wife to feel the same way.
No, you can't expect your wife to feel the same way. And I'm sorry to say, but what you just described now is very, very conversant. It's like normal thing within the Yoruba.
Everywhere. Yeah, it's very common.
Yeah,
There's a mismatch.
We Yorubas, we are usually like, "Oh, to say who now, let's just do it. Let them just call, let everybody feel free." No.
It's like, you're coming, enter town now, of course. Enter. Like, I know person that did it a few times. We just go and pick up the person at the airport, didn't even tell their wife.
What?
Yes.
No.
And they don't have papers. They plan to stay, by the way. So there's no future.
I feel so sorry for the wife already.
You feel sorry.
Honestly, I feel so sorry for the wife. No. It's not done like that. You have to have that conversation. Both of you have to come up with a plan, a strategy, and of course, you have to work on your level of tolerance, knowing fully well that these people, they are not going to stay with us forever. They have to leave. Yeah. My wife and I, we've been in this kind of situation on and off. People have lived with us on at different time and place. Sometimes some people live with us, and I'll just tell my wife straight off, "Babe, you see these people? They're only staying here for 1 month. We ain't gonna do more than
1 month. What if they don't have papers, Uncle?
Look, even that they don't have paper, you see, that's a very good point. We do have a lot of people like that want to travel, come down without papers. For me, before I will even agree for you to
that you're coming to my house, we want to know what your stay is like.
When you know get pali, you will tell me your strategy. What's your plan?
What's the plan? So it's the same thing. Just asking for the plan. Like, what you want to know what's going on.
Exactly. Look, a brother came here around 5 years ago, and when he was applying for visa and everything, he applied for a family visa. They got 2 kids, so it was him, his wife, and 2 kids. And when he reached out to me and be like, please, Ben, at least we will stay. Then I just told him straight up that, look, if you are planning to Japa, I will not be part of the people that will say Japa with all the family. When you go come here, job, they guarantee. No hope for anything.
Yeah.
And it's glaring that you're going to overstay your visa.
Yeah, fact.
So I'm like, look, count me out. But if you want to do it this way, if you can talk to your wife and let your wife and kids stay back, and only you want to come over, then we can now talk about the plan. Because when people comes around like that and they are living with you, you're going to be responsible for almost everything as far as they are concerned. How they're going to get a job, how they get to that job. There are just too many things to consider.
There's so many things to consider.
That is just one.
It's the whole adult staying with you in your
so-
own private home with your own family.
Yes.
One adult, we're not talking about multiple. One adult, and you have to have this conversation and know what's up, what's like, what we up to. You can still help, but you just have to consider that there's another human being that doesn't necessarily have your own personality. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, they're evil. It's just the way they are comfortable. It's the way they operate. It's just the other side of what you fell in love with when it comes to them in the first place. But they also like to have their own privacy. So, but when you describe it earlier, Uncle Beno, you describe you on the same page with your wife, which is the only secret in all of this. That's the secret.
Every time.
Right?
Every time we're on the same page.
The question now becomes, who is going to get on the other person's page, right? How are we going to get on the other person's page, or how are we going to end up on the same page? That's where the bass comes in, right?
Yep.
And oftentimes, at least one person is caught up in their own emotions, and you have to yield to them. You have to. And then when you start to look at that, yielding to them, you might start questioning yourself, like, why is it me always that have to yield to you? Because when you understand that the secret is to be on the same page, of course you will want to get on the same page with them. But eventually, if you're the only one that's always doing that, you will resent the idea of always getting on the same page with them.
Definitely.
That's where we struggle with these things, Uncle Beno.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is this, based on the story you read so far, I think the man is the one who is making, is it a fuse out of nothing? Is that how they speak the grammar?
If you making a big deal out of nothing.
Out of nothing. The man is the one making, look, women like that.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Doesn't that invalidate how it feels?
The man?
Yeah, with regards to cultural norm, when my parents come over, they're supposed to come and feel free to come to their son's house.
Yes.
It should be as simple as that. Nobody should be questioning that. It's a feeling. It's coming from a place of emotion. It's sentiment, essentially, right?
Yes.
What would you say to him saying, but you are invalidating how I feel about this?
Okay, this is what I would tell him. What kind of conversation do you have with your wife? It takes two to tango. I get it. You want to impress your parents. You want them to it's US or wherever it is, so far it's abroad. You want your parents to come and have a blast and be proud of you. But mind you, you are not the only one your parents should be proud of. They should be proud of your wife. Your wife, in this case, is the primary host. Let's just call it what it is. The wife is the primary host.
Right.
Because you're definitely going to be working. They will be spending more time at home with her more than you. Or
she's obligated to be at home for the most part. Especially if there are kids.
And you should know that your parent coming over will mess up your wife routine. Every woman has a way they manage their home. Some of them know they have days they cook. They have days they do laundry. They have days they do so many things. Some of them work just like you, and they already have everything planned out and how they want their life to run. Now, if you are bringing your parent over to spend some time with you, that will disrupt their own schedule. Let's just call it what it is. Now, if you are looking at it that you are my wife, my parent is coming, you have to act right, be in your best behavior. No, bro, no. You will get it wrong. You have to talk to her. Tell her about your parent first. Tell her what it means to you that your parent is coming.
Thank you. I like that line. What it means to you.
Exactly.
You have to be
Tell her
patient with yourself enough to communicate that and not make assumption that she's supposed to know.
exactly. Tell her what it means to you. Tell her your plans for them when they are around. The things you want to do with them. Oh, you want them to go here, you want to do that. Even including the children. Maybe some of the things you want them to do with the children.
Yeah.
Tell your wife everything. Now, you have to take the high ground, calm down low, and ask your wife, babe, how do you think we can make this work? And if you are the type who, if you are open to your wife, you treat her better and you do all that, your wife will simply tell you, hey, this one that they are coming now, how we go take Duamo? You know my schedule now, and you know how this one be, how that one be. So how are we going to do it? Okay, when you are asking me, what do you want me to do? You know, that's where you start talking. And then when she's talking, you have to listen. And this brings me back to what you just highlighted when you are reading the story, where the woman said she asked the husband, how long are they going to stay?
Right.
That's a very valid question. Now,
valid.
if she asks you, okay, in the first place, can you tell me how long they are going to stay? And you'll be like, oh, they gave them 6-month visa. Based on my plan, okay, my mom is doing this or my mom is doing that, or maybe they will have to do some medical check. Let's just assume they are going to stay the entire
Medical
6
check
months.
or all those typical things, right?
No? So let's just say they're going to stay the entire 6 months. Just tell her that, well, based on the plan I have, based on what I think we're going to do with them, they might likely stay the entire 6 months. Then you ask her, do you have any issue with that, my dear? That'd be a problem. And you ask in a way that your wife can see that you genuinely
You care.
not her concern.
You care for how she feels about the whole thing.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you see, sometimes we men, we just kind of, especially we Nigerian men, make I don't lie, we downplay
Kakuku lamole. They can break table.
honestly. Sometimes we downplay women emotions, and it's not good.
It's not good for us.
We all
In
know how-
particular, it's not good. This is very important, Uncle Beno. It's not that it's not good, as in societal good, moral value. It is not good for us when we do that. We shoot ourselves on the legs when we do that.
Exactly. You know, I do believe that. Oh, that's why I keep saying, put yourself in the other person's shoe, and you will see better. Just get out of your own zone first. Say, this is what I want. This is what I want.
Take
No.
take one day. Take one
Just
day.
try to be there for a while, then you will see clearly. Look at it this way. If you, as a man, if your mother-in-law comes to spend even 3 weeks in your house, within that 3 weeks, you want to be on your best behavior. If you are a good man, a man who is respectful, a man that does not look down on his in-laws, the moment your mother-in-law is around, you see that 3 weeks, you want to be on your best behavior. If you used to leave work and go hang out with your friends before, you want to come back home early.
Yeah.
You want to be friendly with mama. You want to go and check on mama. Mama, how you did today? You need anything? You know, if you as a man, you want to be on your best behavior when your mother-in-law is around. Now, flip that situation around. How much pressure do you think your wife will be on when your own mom is around?
Yeah.
And mind you, your mother-in-law won't judge you that much because
No, you don't get judged as a man. Not in our
Honestly,
society, at least.
your mother-in-law won't judge you that much. Once your mother-in-law see that you are taking care of her daughter, you're taking care of your children, you already have a good house, I'm telling you, some really good mother-in-law, they will even be praising you. They'll be praying for you, everything. They will hardly see what you are doing wrong. I'm being candid with you right now.
Yeah.
What?
They won't. In fact, they will defend you. In fact, there's a particular video I was going to see if I could review today, but I just left it alone. Where Obama was talking on the speech last night, Barack Obama was talking about how the mother that passed away, his mother-in-law would defend him first anytime he gets in trouble with Michelle. This is typical around the world. Like that's the kind of in-law relationships. Some people are lucky to be married for 40 years before they figure it out. Some of you are not going to be that lucky. You need to figure this out right now before you go into that marriage.
There's a lot. There's a lot you have to consider. You have to really try to be in your wife's shoe. That's the only way you get to understand how these things works at times. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter how nice your mom could be or your dad could be. Daddies don't usually don't have issue. A lot of daddies don't have issue with their daughter-in-law. To be frank, it's mama, the husband.
Is the territorial thing. It's the reality. It's called territory. Everybody's trying to protect their own territory.
Exactly.
Subconsciously, consciously, all of the above, indirectly. Sometimes you don't mean to, but you just find yourself you're in a competition.
When your mom is around as a man, your mom is evaluating your wife. Let's just call it. It's not all mother that do that too, but in most cases, it happens like this. Your mom is evaluating your wife, starting from the children. This is America, for instance.
It's a natural thing. And in addition to that, the wife is also defensive.
Of course, now.
Of anything that smells, even if mama don't mean to do it, of anything that smells like it. The wife is already super looking over her shoulder like that's how I take care of my baby. Why, no, she didn't. And then you find yourself as a man having to stuck in the middle. You're not saying no, she didn't mean it like that. She was just commenting. No, that's how I do my thing.
You go shalaye tire.
You go shalaye tire. You are carrying the weight you don't need to carry. These people will go their own way, in every sense. They will get old and go to where old people go. They will go back to their house. You just relax. You're stressing yourself out. Not too said. Let them know we don't cook every day in America. Oh, soup go their fridge when we are at work. They can make something or whoever is on. What do you say to that, Uncle Bendo?
Sister Natu is right, but let me shock you. Do you know that if a man really know how to communicate with his wife, he knows how to bring his wife on board. Some wife, we even don't mind cooking that daily cooking self.
Thank you. Just for that time. Just for that time.
God bless you, MOP. So that is why I said the discussion around time frame matters a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, my wife and I, I'm beginning to lose count of how many people have stayed with us at times. 1 week, 3 days, 2 months. Somebody have lived with us for almost 2 years. But because we're on the same page. And we are both comedians.
That's
it. Sometimes when they are coming, since we already know when they are staying with us, when it will start and when it will end.
Sorry, Uncle Beno, make us say that in English for those that didn't in the back that didn't hear Yoruba to hear it. If there is no cracks in your wall, the Geico will not enter your wall. The devil cannot come into your relationship
at all.
If there are cracks in your wall, the crack is not the devil falling out of the sky. Most of the time, you are your own worst crack. Okay? If there is no crack in your wall, no devil is coming inside. If there is crack, they rush right through. They are ready. And the devil is going to use your closest persons, including you, to rush through that door if you keep that door open. So it's really, it comes down to that. Sorry, continue, Jerry.
Yeah, so once you discuss the time frame, like my wife and I were like comedians. Sometimes when people can't live with us like that, my wife will say, babe, the countdown don't start.
The countdown, what they are doing. So now, imagine that conversation. Thank you for saying that, Uncle Beno. Imagine that conversation between you and your wife, where they banter back and forth. You are joking and you are gossiping behind the scenes. The countdown, these people, they stay with us right now. Now, listen, I get it. One person is welcoming to everybody, right? Because that's the part we're missing. That one person, as far as they're concerned, they don't have to live forever. It almost sounds like they don't have to live forever. But this is where you come in with emotional intelligence and say, I am aware enough emotionally that my partner don't necessarily feel the same way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get through some of the tips, Uncle Beno. We're gonna get through. I have 5 tips, and then I want you to tell me what you think about about these tips. Honestly, the tips are coming from the standpoint of helping the person that's complaining, as always, because at the end of the day, I think they have power of influence over their husband. Okay,
Absolutely.
the husband should just know. Let me talk to the husbands that may be listening to this. You're shooting yourself on the legs. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. You might not see it yet. It might be too late before you see it. Hopefully not. But you're hurting yourself. What I'm about to teach your wife or wives, it's not sustainable long term. It's good for temporary fix so we can get to the other side so that we can actually see if we can do some damages, some good damages. It's good for a while. But at the end of the day, the man is expected to lead. The man needs to lead. Everything is more sustainable when the man is leading. So if you catch this bait and you see your wife trying to do the right thing, this is another opportunity, another chance. We are presented with new chances every day to do things right, but sometimes we just can't see it. Why? Because of coconut head. Coconut head is a bastard. We must all curse coconut head to the hellfire where it belongs. Anyway, so let's give the lady some tips here. Tip number 1, tolerable boundaries. Setting boundaries based solely on your tolerance isn't enough. Instead, leverage the emotional benefits and service to your partner when establishing these boundaries. This fosters a sense of partnership rather than conflict.
Right on point. You cover almost everything. You see, boundary is number one when it comes to issues like this. You have to set a boundary, and not just from your own standpoint.
Yes.
That boundary has to be a collective boundary. Both of you will agree on it. This is the limit. This is what we will not take. This is where we're not going. Boundary is a must. If you don't set boundaries, families will overrun your marriage for you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And you have to blame yourself for it because it's not their fault. They're just family.
Who else you go blame now?
Yeah.
Maybe you go blame village people.
Maybe village people. Exactly.
Boundary is a must. Boundary is a must.
Yeah.
And you have to be emotionally aware of what's going on when you are setting those boundaries.
That's the key. That's the key.
Both of you, we have to sit down and look at it from each individual's point of view, and then you now arrive at a collective point of view and say, okay, babe, if we do it this way or we do it that way. Look, once you and your wife agrees, about forget. And women are good. I studied HR in my first degree. And one of the strategies we are taught is that if you want to get people to do what you want, let them be part of the decision.
Yeah. So it's their own idea.
Exactly.
It will come out as their own idea. Yeah. That's the key. That's influence.
Exactly. It's the same thing in marriage. When you allow your wife to bring her own idea and say, okay, darling, I think if we do it this way, it's better. And like I always said, just look at it. If the idea she's bringing is really perfect, you don't need to augment it. Just say, babe, maybe we do them exactly the way.
That's it. And you're still leading. It still means you're leading.
Oh, your wife go make sure, say, the way we agree, and that's how the thing go remain.
She will ensure it. She will make sure of it. Yeah. So setting, I think most people know boundary. The part they don't know is they think it's drawing a line in the sand. This is what I will take and that's what I won't take. That's what they think a boundary is. You have to focus on, take the focus off of your own tolerance level. Take that focus off of your own tolerance, because tolerance is not the same thing as boundaries. Boundary is just so we can see forward. We can see what they do. That's boundaries. Instead leverage the emotional benefits to him. So now let's assume Uncle Beno said both of you, right? But let's assume it's not available because coconut head don't take over, right? If it's not available, that means your active listening skills needs to be sharp. What exactly is it that he's concerned about? In this case, we're going to talk about that in tip number 2. But the question is that what is his concern? When people have coconut head, they're not just coming out of nowhere. They're not trying to be evil.
Yeah.
They have coconut head because they're stuck in some kind of personal concern. They can't get past it.
Yeah.
So it now becomes, unfortunately, a temporary work you have to do. To what is that? Listen out to see what is his concern about. So you have to put that into the boundaries. It needs to go into the boundaries that you will be suggesting, so that it can feel like it's on the same side. And then even if
it has to be tolerable, just the way
yes,
you put it.
tolerable. Yes. Yeah. That way it doesn't come off as, you know what you always describe, Uncle Beno. It's your way or the highway, right? Right. So this tip right here is it can be very difficult. You need support to create this. If you are with a partner who has coconut head, they will drag you for filth, and it will pull everything out of you. It will backfire, as in like you will start to resent it and you will quit if you don't have proper support system, because you will start to ask yourself, why am I the only one doing the work? Now, if both of you are on the same page, then it's the easiest thing to do, because it will be the scenario that Uncle Beno painted, which is both of you just the banter behind the scenes, like, let's count down so that me and you can have our freedom again. But
Yes,
you know, this is a sacrificial thing you're doing by accommodating together. You're sacrificing by having these people in your house for a while, for longer than actually reality is that longer than we want, you know, as a couple. Because if you're on the same page with your wife or your spouse, if you know that this is beyond their tolerance, it will inconvenience you too, because you know that you are inconveniencing your partner.
God bless you, Baba. Nothing else good to say.
Yeah.
You just nailed it.
When you're not on the same page with your partner, you're disconnected from something that's not tolerable for them. You call it they are complaining. You call it they are not accommodating. You call it all this. There are more than enough names you can call it, and you will still be valid. It's just that you won't enjoy your marriage. That's all.
MOP. You don't learn and finish.
Let's go to tip number 2. Tip number 2: managing culture.
Yep.
Simply knowing the culture isn't enough, as this can lead to resentment. Instead, demonstrate genuine understanding and respect for cultural norms, while emphasizing the emotional benefits of upholding them. What do you think?
MOP.
This cultural thing, it's a big force. Ideally, we want to just push it under the rug and act like it doesn't exist.
You know, you are talking to the right man when you are talking about this cultural
Traditional man.
As a man in intercultural, intertribal marriage, I know what you are talking about here exactly. You see, this cultural thing is a big deal. And like I said, I don't know, maybe it's one of my show, or maybe on your platform here. I've said it before that the moment you begin to appreciate your partner's culture, you want to know how their culture works. What is their values? What are the things that traditionally their culture will not permit? Don't worry, your husband or wife is probably a modern husband or modern wife.
Yeah, it's probably liberal.
That don't really care much.
It's probably liberal, but
in the context of this managing in-laws,
yes,
you must understand the culture. You must identify, you must compare and contrast your culture, so that when you have any other person with you that is from either of the culture, you know what to do, you know what to expect, and then it won't be a shock. You see, and like I said when we were discussing intertribal marriage, this is the reason why you see people from two opposing culture, we get married to each other, and after their initial basketballs, they will just click.
Yeah.
Because now they've started appreciating each other's.
Right.
Now they don't begin, sometimes when we're joking in my home, my wife will say, you, man. You know what that means?
Tell us.
We have Igbo we say Yoruba used to cook oil soup.
I didn't know.
Oh, you don't know how, Baba.
I didn't used to know.
If you hang around Igbo, it's a common joke.
Oh, okay.
Ofe Manu, Mini.
Among Bati. That's what I know Igbo people call us. Among
Yeah.
Bati.
Yeah, and then for me, I'll just say back to her that look at you, you are my Jokutama mummy, meaning now where they eat stone, well, now know they drink water, and it's not actually stone. You know, they have.
It's not actually stone. Yeah.
I wish Sister Chia is here. There is this white chalk. You know, it's very nutritious. It's nutritious, something like that. They used to eat it in the eastern part of Nigeria.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
People simply interpret that as stone. They'll say you where you go eat stone, where you no go drink water. But all I'm saying is that the more you understand your partner's culture, the better for both of you.
Yeah.
The better you can relate and
Yeah.
you can walk through all kinds of challenges you may have. And culture comes to play when we are talking about in-law management in marriage.
Yeah.
Your in-laws will stick to their culture.
Yeah.
And if that the wife or the husband, depending on whichever of the in-law that comes around, they are evaluating you based on their cultural dictates. This is a taboo. You know, like in Yoruba culture now, as a wife, your mother-in-law or father-in-law come into the house and you are greeting them, you don't even lead down or at least
you're just standing there like one Okon.
That is the biggest disrespect
when it comes to, I think these days it's more like first impression.
Oh, thank you, Loretta. Loretta say it's called Unzu. Thank you.
Hi, Loretta. Loretta decided to subscribe so that you can comment that. Hi, Loretta. Unzu. So it's called Unzu. Okay.
So culture plays a huge role when it comes to managing your in-laws. If you understand the culture, you already know what you expect from them. Like, I'm a Yoruba boy married to Igbo wife.
Right.
I mix with my in-laws all the time. I know how they do their things now.
Yeah.
I know my role. If they have wedding in the family, they want to do anything in the family, I already know what their culture expects from me as an in-law.
Yeah.
For instance, now, if they have to do maybe a burial at my wife's side.
Sorry, Uncle Beno. I just wanted to hear you say it, Loretta. Thank you so much. She said, no, I've been subscribed for a while. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Okay.
All right.
So for instance, in my wife's area now, if they are having maybe they want to have a burial ceremony or something, and I'm expecting my wife to come and tell me, Ogbeni, the talk say na cow you go bring, go say you be big man. Do you know, I won't be surprised, I won't be shocked, to be honest, because I know it's part of the culture. And because I am married to the first daughter, there are some extra expectations from me.
Yeah.
You feel me now? So
that's the first is a big deal. The first thing, first son, first daughter becomes another layer of big deal. You have to. That will become easier if you just embrace this tip of culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, like we were talking about this in-law management now. When my sister came around, I told my auntie that when you come here, most times you will not see me, you will not see my wife. All of us, they walk around.
Everybody's working.
If you are hungry, just go
take care of yourself
and all that too. But did you know that I didn't knew my wife pay attention even way before my auntie came over? I've told my wife that, hey, look, in our culture, when you have elderly people around, if you want to serve them, you have to dish the food and serve it on the table. You don't expect to dish the food and expect them to come and carry it. Or just let them do. But that was like way back.
That's so when people, let me say this, Uncle Beno, when people are having this conversation, do not put the focus on what it used to be, and then the conversation, which today we're talking about in-law management, will get lost in the sauce. You know, it is good to know those things, right? But we don't want you to overwhelm. I'm telling you, you don't have to overwhelm yourself with the actual carrying it out.
At all.
It's once in a while you just express a little gesture, goes a long way, because they're already looking at you like, let's see if this one will like, and then you do one small thing, now it's a big deal. You don't overthink it. Don't be praying for your in-laws to die before you get it. Don't do things like that because somebody told you that you must do this and do this and do that. First impression, yes. They are looking at you, and just I tell my boys, right? I said, when you see an elderly person in church on Sundays, which is typically when they see them, you go next to them, you give them a hug, you bend. To them, they don't understand, like it doesn't register all the way. And I said, it's the culture.
Yep.
When you respect people's culture,
Yep.
they can't. It's like calling somebody's name at a party, like you are
Hyping them.
Wasu and you are hyping them, and they just want to drop money, and they don't know why they want to drop money. They just want to drop it. If they didn't have the money, they will go and change it to $1 just because they want to bless you
Yes,
for
sir.
hyping them. It is not about you, right? But it's about you in the long term. In the short term, you understand that people have culture, they have religion. The same reason why we tell people to respect people's religion or their political inclination. Don't be so disrespectful because somebody disagree with you when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
Just give them the freedom, honor that, because you have no idea what tomorrow looks like. So managing culture is not enough. I know you know the culture. A lot of people know the culture, and what the reason why they know the culture is they want to resent it. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. You are leading with resentment because people have culture. They have their reasons. Become a student of it.
Exactly.
You don't have to obey the culture and now have to be lying flat and be rolling on the floor, because no, that's not what we're asking you. But when they know that you honor them in that way, there's something called law of reciprocity. They naturally want to reciprocate.
Yes.
They want to take care of you.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to know everything today. Just be a student of it for a lifetime. You're going to be married to this person for a lifetime. Find every new thing you learn. You find it interesting. You learn it. You exchange. It becomes conversation between you and your husband
Exactly.
or your wife. You know? So that's why I said managing culture is not about eliminating it, as you might hear around more than enough places on the internet. First of all, you try to eliminate people's culture. It's offensive. It's offensive.
You're never ready.
You never see anything yet.
Oh my God. Oh,
The fear is that, oh, so I have to do all this. No, you don't have to do shit.
Oh, you just have to
Just
know.
be a student of it and be interested genuinely and have conversations around them. So what do you say? So you do like this? Oh no, me, I will never call. I will never like. You never call. You never see anything yet. Nobody's asking anybody to kneel down to serve food anymore. Anyway, that's not the reality. It's the disrespectful tone around people's culture that becomes. They start to resent you even before you disrespect.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, you were saying something.
I just wanted to buttress the point you were making. There was a time when there is this Ubuluku People Association here in Houston.
Okay.
Have this club they are doing. So they were bringing that meeting down to Austin to my in-laws' place. And Madam just told me, say, oh, the host meeting so deal. I didn't tell my wife anything. So on the Saturday before the Sunday they're gonna have the meeting, I went to African market and I bought kola nuts. I bought kola nuts. So on that Sunday, after church, immediately we came back. Madam don't dress, it don't run go the meeting. Just because I want to surprise her. I later went down there with the cola. We were going to start the meeting by 4.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I took the cola to her and I said, get me a plate. And then I washed the cola and put it in the plate. There is this thing, I forgot what they call it. Is it osita? So there is something they use in eating that cola. So someone, one of my Igbo sister helped me arrange them. I had it. And then my wife was like, what be this one? What are you doing? I was like, I said, look at you. Don't you know that when you are hosting meeting like this and you have elderly people come around, there must be cola.
Yes, so
you welcome them with that cola.
Yes,
you know.
Shout out to Shopper Helper.
Yeah, also my sister.
Yeah,
that was it. So I just give it to her. I greet the in-laws, everything, and I entered my car. I zoomed off. She left it there. By the time they started the meeting, Then the person who was coordinating now said, where is the cola we are going to use for prayer and everything? Nobody prepared for it. So that's why Madam now look at, how did this guy figure this thing out? So I'm just saying that.
So imagine not having, this is the problem with people that make in-laws their enemy. You don't have friends that you can ask this kind of, because you didn't know this thing. You never used to know this thing. So how are you going to know? Since everybody is your enemy now. But this kind of things will come off handy, even if you don't remember. Say, hey, these people are coming out. They will even hint you, say you want to do this, do that. And you knowing this, what we're saying here, knowing the long-term benefit of doing this, you can't wait to take care of your in-laws in this manner. The comeback of this is pressed down, shaken together, running over. Especially if you tend to do things like that. People will want to take care of you naturally.
Of course. And all these things bring more respect, like even Madam no say na big thing, I be that day. But after that day, she was like, hey, even me will be able to say, I don't even know say I suppose to. I say, okay, babe, forget.
No, usually your own partner doesn't know because they're more than just like you. Usually they don't know.
So I'm just saying that to support what the point MOP is making, that culture is key. You don't need to practice it or anything, but you must know.
You
so
must
that
know.
When it comes up, it won't hit you like, what is it talking about?
Just small gestures. 1% small gestures goes a long way. It goes a long way. Let's go to tip number 3. Thank you, Shopper Helper, for helping us. Chinye don't disappear, so maybe he's taking care of the babies. Tip number 3: effective communication. Approach communication collaboratively. For instance, ask, can we come up with a hosting plan together?
Exactly.
Actively listen, take notes, process the discussion, and then confirm your understanding to ensure both of you are on the same page.
Yeah. Yep. That communication is the live wire of all relationship. And in going by what we are discussing right now, managing your in-laws. If you don't have this collaborative communication with your wife or your husband, it will end in disaster. You will find out that your in-laws will come, spend maybe 3 or 6 months with you, and 3, 4, 5 years after they have left, you guys are still reeling in the problems that was created within that 6 months.
Yes, resentments don't go away. Resentments are like hot. They stay hot.
Yeah, so it's very important. Couples, MOP, if you have to do a short version to educate people on this thing about in-laws coming in and how to manage them, is key.
Yeah.
In-laws have broke a lot of marriages.
Yeah.
And at the point, it will even become competition. Oh, where your mama come? What did you do? Where my papa come?
Yeah.
Did you do this?
It become competition. Yeah, exactly. It's like you took it out of my mouth, Uncle Bedo. Like, if it was your own people.
Say you will do that if now your mama come? Oh, come on.
If you ever wonder what the devil looks like when it comes to marriage, that's it. That's what it looks like. You mean well, by the way. I would never take that away from you. You mean well, because you're coming from a place of it's just not fair. You want to be fair. I get it. But you're shooting yourself on the legs because you're thinking short term. You're not thinking beyond your emotions in this time.
Yeah. I read all those posts Dr. Shola used to post. There was one I read one day where a lady was lamenting that her mother-in-law came visiting and her mother-in-law was sleeping in their bed. She has to sleep maybe in guest room or somewhere in the house and all that. The moment I read that part that the mother-in-law is sleeping in their bedroom, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? That shouldn't happen.
So that kind of story right there, we have backstories that we're not privy to. Because first of all, you see your reaction, like he shocked you, right? That reaction is what most normal human beings will react. You know why? Because there's a backstory to it. Is the backstory justifiable? Are there other things going on behind the scenes? We don't know yet until we assess it, right?
Yeah.
Are they sleeping in your bed because your other alternative is that they go sleep in somebody's pantry somewhere else, and now they just happen to be all of you in the bed, or you leave that angle out, or they just want to be straight evil? Let me say this clearly to everybody in the back. If your mother-in-law is straight evil like that, and your husband is straight evil like that, and you guys left your master bedroom for them, even though there are alternatives, why are you still married to that person? No, we shouldn't talk about that. We should just judge the mother-in-law in your bed, Abby. Okay, good. It's wrong. Why are you still in that marriage? If it's because the picture being painted here is that there's an evil act. That's if you go look at that comment, I think I saw that post when I see posts like that, I just skip by because I'm like, okay, they're trying to get a reaction. Where's the rest of the story?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But
So-
where me I'm taking it from is this MOP.
Yes, sir.
Because we are talking about communication.
Yeah.
If the husband and wife have this collaborative communication approach that you highlighted now, they won't get to that point, lie.
No.
Okay,
No.
mama is coming. Where will mama stay?
Yeah.
Oh, we are living in 2-bedroom, and we have
What are you comfortable with?
you live in 2-bedroom. You have
We
2
live in a-
kids.
we live in
Definitely, your children are sleeping in one room.
It's
You are
going to be
in one-
inconvenient. They're going to sleep on top of each other.
It's not convenient. So what are we going to do? Should we move mama visit forward, or be back or how they will talk? Or should we put? Okay, let me put it this way: should we postpone mama visit until we move to a 3-bedroom apartment?
Or can we manage?
Or can
It's
we
a conversation.
Okay,
It's a conversation.
if we're gonna manage, do we have to buy a bunk bed and move into our own bedroom so mama can stay in guest room alone, or will mama and the children stay in their guest room? Because, like I said, if it's your mom as a husband, always remember you don't want to inconvenience your wife.
Right.
Because if your wife's mother comes visiting, I don't think you want to leave your own bedroom
Yeah.
for mama to sleep. Then you sleep.
That's why I said if you're looking for the devil and what it looks like, this is it. Is this issues? You know? This is what the devil looks like in marriages. They come in the form of in-laws and your relationships, and forget in-laws. It's easy to point fingers at in-laws. Yourselves. You're your own worst enemy because you won't come down to see what the other person's viewpoint is.
Yeah. So this is where this communication is the key to the whole thing. You just have to put your differences apart and agree on what you want to do, then put up a front. And for men, I will tell men now, do everything within your capacity so that your wife don't appear like a bad woman to your mother or your father.
That is your responsibility.
You just have to know
Gentlemen, that is your responsibility. If your wife is being disrespected, you lack self-respect. You have no respect. They don't. If they are disrespecting your wife, they don't respect you.
Exactly.
Take this to the bank.
Exactly. You have to make sure your wife don't appear bad. She doesn't look bad. And your wife too, if her own parent are the one coming, she has to make sure you don't look bad. That is why we're talking about working together.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, is this person responsibility? No, you are both in it together, because whatever the outcome of that their visit becomes, it's gonna impact you both.
Yeah.
It will impact you both. So
Natu says mama and the children will stay in one room. Well, what do you think about that?
that is fine. So far, they both agree that's how they want to do it.
That's it. Is the source here? Listen, the secret sauce here is agreement. Okay,
That's all.
Now, Uncle Bendo, here's some people's idea of agreement. The whole idea of agreement is that you're not agreeing with them.
No, now where wahala go happen with
Yeah,
that?
it's God.
Oh God.
Their own idea, you're not agreeing with them, is their own idea of disagreement.
God knows I can't deal with people like that. People who just want it their way.
That's why there's gridlock oftentimes. But they can't see it that way. In their own, they think they have common sense and this is how things are done. But the fact that you don't agree with them, a disagreement has been created. And then there's only one direction to point fingers.
Oh boy.
The person that's not agreeing with them.
Yeah. That person is the devil.
They don't see it that way, they see the other person as the devil.
Elon, I don't be anybody me too. You never see anything. Elon Matano be anybody me too.
Hey, yes, TV. Yeah. This is I want everybody to just calm down and know that we've all been through this in one shape, form, or the other. We didn't always get it right. It comes down to prioritizing your spouse, the agreement between your spouse before your own parent. This is how you destroy yourself if you don't get this right.
Yeah.
There is a need for prioritization. Okay. All right.
MOP, some people still see marriage like me and my family on one hand against my wife and her family.
Literally, that's how they see it.
Yeah,
when they say, you know how many times I have to continue to repeat on this show that your wife and your children is your family, not your mother and your father.
That is your number one priority. And I preach this to men all the time too. Once you're married, you have kids, it becomes you, your wife, your children first. And you have to establish that to your family, your extended family.
No, Uncle Benno. You need to know that, believe that, know that you know that you know that you know that. To hell with them. They follow what you know. If you don't get it, they will help you curse out your wife. In other words, they don't respect you. If you don't know this, if you're still questioning this priority of a thing between extended family and the family you created, if you are struggling with this, you go struggle for a long time.
That's so. It's you, your wife, your children. I preach this. I'm not be pastor, I'm not be anything, but I don't learn this one for a long, even before I marry. If you want peace, you want to go far, you want a peaceful home, first and foremost, in fact, you don't even need to tell your wife will know that in this marriage, she and the children come first.
She just know. She just know. So she will bend to your will most of the time because she already know, she's not questioning that you prioritize your family.
Easily. She already know who you are working for. She know what your goals are. And once you make that certain to your family, and women must do the same too, because a lot of people don't know that the secret to a happy home takes a lot of things. And that is why I love how MOP starts this thing with boundary. You have to establish that boundary, a solid one. You go use Trump wall, establish that boundary.
Mexico wall.
Establish that boundary. And you know one thing I realize about families, the moment they realize that as a man and woman, your family, your first family is your main focus.
They are so happy. That's what they want. That's the secret, Uncle Benno. They can't wait to rejoice with you. You know what some men say, like, what kind of a man who will allow his wife to disrespect his mother? I'll tell you what. The reality of people that don't put the family they create first is what you are spelling out when you say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually, that your wife will disrespect you and your family because you lack self-respect. That's what it comes down to. Okay. She will just since you don't respect me and you and our family we created, let's just disrespect everything because women multiply everything anyway, right?
And you don't want to see that multiplication.
They'll multiply. It's not the only woman that's going to multiply is not your wife. Oh. Your mother will multiply for you.
That will turn it to something else.
Your mother is a woman too. She will multiply it for. She will attempt to help you be a man. She will attempt to help you be a man. Then they start calling you to a corner. The thing like this, you want to be a man. Your mother, your sister will help you. This kind of thing you want to also, so that your wife no go disrespect you. You know what they're saying? They're saying you're not a man. Mm-hmm. You run to your friends, kitty. What do you think about your friends, weirdos? They might even cook you up against yourself. They might tell you like, no, never accept anything like that. There are more than enough of them that will tell you never accept anything like that. What we're asking you is that you prioritize the family you created.
Exactly.
Not the one you come from, the one you created.
Yeah. And it same goes to women too. Mm-hmm. You see, if you don't...
The advice was for women, by the way. The effective communication was for the woman who wrote.
I know.
All right.
I know. I'm just saying about this, making your first family your priority.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing for women.
Priority, same thing.
The moment you made up your mind that my husband, my children come first, you don't have to tell your husband. From your action, the man will begin to say, "Oh,
yeah." It's called loyalty. You know how we value loyalty now.
Yeah. Like, now me and my children be donating to this woman.
Yeah.
Not you ask that man what that man know want to do for you.
Yeah, because it looks like loyalty to us, Uncle Beno.
Yeah.
That we would die for a woman who is loyal to us.
A woman that got your back. If you get your husband back, you defend him even against your own family. Forget to.
Yeah.
You have disarmed that man.
So an equivalent of this would be women who used to put money aside to go and build secret houses in different places.
No, that is terrible. In fact,
you're shooting yourself on the legs.
How did you know? The show I want to create the rant is actually about that too.
Oh, about that. You see, when they do things like this, they have ways to justify it. There's more than enough cases to justify it. They will say things like, you never know, put your own money to the side to do,
MOP, you be prophet.
Uncle Beno, I'm dealing with this kind of stuff behind the scenes all the time.
I shared the script of the story I'm about to tell on my channel. I share it with my team members. Guess what? The 2 out of the 3 girls that work for me, the 3 women that work for me, guess what they said? 2 said, Uncle Ben.
They say, the
man has done something. The woman will not just wake up and do this. And I'm like, girls, can you guys come out of your your come, make us come more talk.
Yeah.
Like, share script with you guys. And
that's what the devil looks like. You will have more than enough way to justify it. That's why I always tell you you're right. You will have more than enough ways to justify your own demise. There will be more than enough way, and you got to be careful because it's distraction, it's enticing, it makes logical common sense. That you never know. But when 5 years from now, you start to feel it. You're shooting yourself on the legs. Yes. You're running so fast, you're going to crash and burn.
And it's all for within the context of the topic you are handling today, MOP.
Yeah.
You see, problem starts when you don't prioritize the family you created. Because it then becomes easier for your mom, your dad, or your brother or uncle or somebody to tell you that, say that abroad where you did. You don't know what your husband don't they do for inside. Begin to do something. And please, my sister.
It will help you put some things to the side.
Yeah, this is just part of what I was going to preach about on my channel. Once you start hearing anybody telling you that thing, you know what your husband they do for him people, you better begin to do something now. They are already tearing your home apart.
They will even tell you to help your husband in the future too. He might need to use it in the future
Exactly. They are tearing your home apart gradually. Once you buy into that nonsensical saying, they are pitching you against your husband because now, unknown to you, it will become a competition.
Yeah. You're in a competition.
Oh, maybe not true. Hey,
You're in a competition against yourself.
you call your brother for home. I beg, let me check. My husband called this number. He talked to go check. He buy land for this. Come on. You guys are not even supposed to be in that space where you are beginning to investigate each other. That is competition. And what happens when people are competing? They want to conquer each other, Abi. That is why marriage, they get past goals.
Yeah. Tip number 4, Uncle Beno. Thank you so much for elevating this conversation.
I'm learning now, Baba.
Tip number 4, emotional intelligence. Own your feelings when expressing concerns. For example, you might say, I feel anxious, overwhelmed, and stressed when I don't know how long guests are staying. I just need some clarity. This keeps the focus on your emotions rather than assigning blame.
Exactly. And this go back to what we said at the beginning. And my MOP, in fact, people need to go and rewatch the whole video from this particular segment. They need to go and rewatch it. You already mentioned all these things before.
Right. When I was reading the emails. Yeah.
If you don't address these issues from emotional intelligence angle, you will get it wrong. That's why I love my sister Chidima.
Yeah.
Anytime we have our bass boss at the backstage, Chidima will say, hey, we are saying one thing, no, Uncle Ben is saying another thing.
Yep.
And I will say, don't blame me, Abi man. When you are saying something, you get out the thing.
Yeah, it's ringing in another angle entirely. You're hearing somebody blaming you or painting you wrongly, whereas they're just expressing themselves.
We are hearing something completely different.
Yep.
So please, you are looking for solution, my sister. In the case of this mother-in-law, father-in-law, in-laws visiting and all that, it's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And the stress itself, if you think you are being stressed now, wait until they come. Then you will see the stress level go to this way high. Especially
no, they've been this story. If you listen to it, they've been coming in the past years. She's speaking from experience.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Who might be in this same?
Who might? Right.
If that stress where you don't they feel, even when they never come, wait until they come. Stress level will be this high.
Yeah.
So it's okay. We are human.
Yeah.
And if you feel anxious, overwhelmed, and stressed, it's simply because you and your spouse did not prepare for what to come.
Yeah, you're not on the same page. Yeah.
If you have had communication,
that's enough.
Yeah. If you have a discussion about this, you both understood each other's culture. You have established boundaries. Even before they came, you people have already knew what you were going to do when they come. You won't feel anxious or overwhelmed. And just like MOP pointed it out now, when you tell your spouse, I just need clarity, this keeps the focus on your emotions rather than assigning blame.
Right.
Yes,
Stevie, I'll come back to this, okay? I'll come back to this. Go ahead, Uncle Beno.
It's different from when you say, oh, see what is happening now. Your parents are here. I have to take care of the children. Still take care of your parents.
That's an attack. You're attacking me. If I hear that, you are attacking me.
Okay. In our own coconut head, as a man, we'll be like, what the heck are you? What are you saying?
Who are you talking to?
Is my parents going to live here forever? What is wrong with you? How many things have you done that you are not? In fact, is this the attitude you are even showing? While don't they come?
Yes, sir.
But when you say, I just need some clarity, let me borrow you guys one small tip here. Do what my madam they do at times when she's overwhelmed. Madam no go talk. She go just mind her business, do the one where she feel do, leave the rest.
So she allowing God to do the work. I tell my clients to do all the time. Allow God to do the work for you.
If you don't get them, if my madam talk about it be like say I don't get what she's saying. She not gonna even drag me. She not go stress him.
Yeah.
You just do all that she can do, and leave the rest.
Because Uncle Beno, because if you no agree in this moment, heaven no go fall out of the skies. Oh, you know that, right?
Abi,
You know. There's still a good chance we'll wake up in the morning, inshallah. Right, and everybody will be healthy and hale and hearty.
Abi?
Nobody's in the emergency room, right? We go still get mouth to continue the conversation, but you might be a little bit calmer to receive
Yep.
the message.
Yep. And then you process it. And it's not really easy. I feel sorry for women anyway. Anytime the in-laws are around, the few lucky ones that get along with their in-law easily, they don't know what God do for them.
They're the one that will drag the in-law for no reason.
If you happen to be the one that doesn't get along with your mother-in-law, hey, Ongbono feli feli, oh, like the bank sang. Ongbono feli feli. So please, emotional intelligence is important. Okay,
Right.
try to express yourself in a way that
You
feel,
own it. Own it.
yeah, you are in control. I'm not saying in control in a negative sense, but you are expressing yourself in a
Of
way
yourself.
that you will get the desired results.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, let me say this. Just because you word it in this exact way, I feel anxious, you own it, doesn't guarantee anything. The only thing it guarantees that is you're in control of your own emotions. That person, if they're a good firecracker, they must still receive it as an attack. But you've come into the picture, owning it. You don't have any you're managing your expectations. They might not receive it well because their own emotions are getting triggered. But you're okay with that because you owned it.
Especially if Naban MOP, the man is thinking about money.
Thank you.
How he's going to settle his parents when
Yes.
they are going.
Yeah. So this is not a guarantee that he will just receive it, especially if it's a man who is not emotionally intelligent yet. You know, he's hearing the attack. He might still hear the attack. He might not be able to hear what you're saying yet. But it's helpful when you go there, clear that you're just expressing yourself and you're in control. I don't mind the word control if it's control of yourself, if it's self-control, right? And you understand that you're not going to be able to manipulate control, but you know that it's okay, like Uncle Beno said, to express how you feel. Your feelings are valid. Once you say that, if you have to repeat yourself the third time, that form of communication is not working, back off.
Yeah.
Let it be. You've sown the seed. He will process it, right? More talking is not going to help. It actually destroys the initial point more often than not. Instead of just leave it at that, they know how you feel. They might even say, I knew. They might even tackle you back. I knew it. You never like my people, right?
You hate my mom.
They might even tackle you back. Just know that it is well. You want to. If you do enough of this, eventually it will start germinating into you mean no harm. You're not harmful. You're just expressing yourself.
Yes.
Anything outside of this is going to result in what we're about to cover in tip number 5. Before we go into that, let me continue this. Let's see in the chat. Yes, TV says MOP, it's not good to do that though. But what happens when you do stuff together with the man and at the end of the day he sells everything you both built together, changes documents behind your back, and leaves you high and dry with nothing? How would you advise ladies handle this? Uncle Beno, you go first. Wala. Oh, that one is serious. Hold on, Uncle Beno. Wala ti ṣẹlẹ̀ yo. Uncle Beno, help me.
Yeah, MOP, you already know my stance to some extent when it comes to stuffs like this. You know, I've always advocated this point that life is a game, marriage is a game. When you when people end up in situations like this, can you help me highlight what my sister Yes TV said again?
Okay.
Yeah, please help me highlight it. Okay. So she said MOP is not good to do that too. But what happens when you do stuff together with the man, and at the end of the day, he sells everything you both built together, changes documents behind your back, and I think there's the rest of the story. All right.
That leaves you dry and high and dry with nothing.
Okay.
How would you
Now,
advise ladies handle this? Yeesh.
okay, now this is where I pull out my life is a game card. Life is a game you play to win. Marriage is a game. And when you see people who fell into this category or who experience what Yes TV just described right now, they have ignored the red flag for way too long. Yes. You see, before you start having properties with your husband or your wife, first of all, you need to know what is their level of transparency. How do they approach issues? Is he or she a man or woman of her words? Did something happen? I'll give you an example. If you build houses, you start a business, or you do everything with your husband, and along the line, he cheated. He now has a kid outside. I will tell you this, my sister. From the moment that happened, activate your life is a game card. Start protecting yourself. He comes around, he begs you, I'm sorry, baby, I never knew this is going to happen, blah, blah. Yes, you can forgive. Yes, you love him, he loves you. But from that moment that he stepped out and that shit happens, you don't see that coming. That changes everything.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert, though. I'm just telling you.
No. Keep going, brother. You're doing well.
All right. So that changes everything. The moment that happens, you stay on business. Where are we heading? Can we start sharing property
On the
now?
clean slate?
Yeah.
That's a tough one, though.
How do we move from here? No, I'm telling you. See, women are the one who this thing hits the most. Let's be candid.
No, let me say this, Uncle Beno.
Yeah.
But for what, No,
I don't feel you, Baba.
you see, what Yes TV described is fraudulent behavior. Okay, this is fraud. What we're looking at on the screen is a fraud committed by somebody you're married to you. You know? But I'll calm down. Because no, we're not going to call police. That's not what I'm saying. Yet, okay, I'll calm down. But this is what she described, right? And under no, the tips that we gave earlier on are not designed to sugarcoat fraudulent behavior.
Yep.
All right? We need to call, if you cheat, you steal, or you lie, we need to call them what they are. You cheated, you stole, you lied. Those are the three behaviors right there that we need to call out for what they are. And when somebody's moral values is so bad that they have to do that, you know, dare I question the existence of even a marriage? Does that marriage even exist?
Exactly.
But like I said, I'll calm down first. It still does. But I'm just trying to get you to see the magnitude of what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, see, MOP, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's look at it. A woman is not a fool to work hard, bring her money, her husband bring money, and they are building together. Is that not what marriage is all about?
Right.
I don't think...
Ideally.
Okay, I don't think a woman will decide to build house and start businesses with a man who is known for cheating, lying, or doing shady businesses and stuff like that. I don't think a woman want to take that risk. Before
Unless she's in love.
yeah,
Accountability time.
eh.
Let's come back. Unless, were you in love when it happened?
Now you are talking MOP.
Wait now. I took notes. I'm waiting. Wait for me now. Were you in love? They cheated, they stole, they lied, right? But did they come off the street to come and do it? Right? They didn't. So what we have, yes, it is fraudulent, but what we have is a crisis. This is one of those conversations I had with Dante B some 2 weeks ago. This is now your crisis too. So Uncle Beno was speaking to prevention is better than cure, seeing the red flag ahead of time.
Boom. Don't wait.
Yeah.
You know, MOP, like I've always said, that is why I respect you a lot. I respect your approach a lot. I'm suspecting you should be a pastor in your church. You know, just want to show that part of you to us. I'm suspecting that.
If they can allow me to say fuck on the pulpit, sure. If they're not going to allow me to say fuck, then Mosorio. I have marriage seminars around that happens that they probably won't let me in because, you know.
because you said, for me, this is what I would tell younger people as a growing uncle now. Love, don't go into love with your eyes closed. Wake up. When there is deviation, that is a warning sign. That's my own personal approach. So people like MOP will see it differently because MOP, and true to his profession, MOP have to look for a way to make it work.
Yes.
But you see, for me, I am this like one-way soldier.
You're facing forward.
MOP, I'm a one-way soldier. If me and you, we agree, we are going this way, we are working together, is smooth. The moment you do something that deviated from who you used to be, I'm not even going to blame you or something. First thing, I'll give myself brain. What just happened? You feel me now?
Yeah.
What just happened? Then I'll start digging to find out more, to know if that is just a rare incident. We are human. Something happens at times. But if I discover that, oh, this thing is becoming a pattern, I'm not going to wait until the whole house, the whole roof cave before I act. I'm acting instantly. And that is what I advise people these days, especially when it comes to the situation my sister Femi described. So, I believe that modern day women are very, very smart. They are educated, they are intelligent.
Right.
First, if we remove the element of blind love, they will not invest their money with you anyhow. You're gonna have.
So let me say this, Uncle Beno.
Yep.
I agree with you, but every one of those things are double-edged sword. They cut both ways, you know, because oftentimes we're so learned, intelligent that we'll build castles around ourselves, and then the castle cave in on us. You know what I'm just saying? We build, let me use your language. We build Donald Trump's Mexico fence around ourselves, and then the thing cave in on you, right? They're double-edged sword. It's good to be intelligent. That's why I always said, if you're going to be intelligent, make sure you're adding emotional intelligence to it. You know, because it's not just about being smart. I'll say this: you were talking about prevention is better than cure. I subscribe to that as well. However, how you respond to crisis is an additional skill set you must have in life. Crisis will happen.
Exactly.
So what happens if you are the same one who actually thought you were signing the right paperwork, but now you're being accused of a crime of conspiracy? That means you were sharing office with a person who was a direct thief. And you have signed paperwork together, you overlook something, oversight. Ignorance is not an excuse. And now you're looking at doing time in front of you. What happens? So you have to put on. Prevention is better than cure. It's now useless because you're already inside of it. It's
Yes,
like
sir.
saying you're inside of marriage, and somehow your wife woke you up at 2 a.m. and say, "Wait till be this," and now you have to. There's a crisis, and you're like, "Wait, what happened?" Somebody texts you, like some girl texts you from a girl's picture, sent you some nude picture, and she saw it on your phone, and then you're like, "Prevention is better than cure." Prevention is better. It's not going to help you in that moment. You could have cleaned your phone earlier. Right?
Yeah, that is a different scenario.
No, I'm saying in general, right?
Yeah.
Responding to crisis is a skill in addition to preventing crisis,
Exactly.
right?
We all have our approaches, how we approach stuff. I'm just going by the scenario Femi show presented now.
No, I'm coming there. I'm coming there, and then you can rebuttal, right?
Yeah.
So the scenario is that
Continue at
she's
the
married.
top.
Okay, and voila. She's married to this person, right? Thank you so much for the $20. Yes, TV, Femi. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let me calm down, dance a little bit, okay? All right. While we're waiting for Uncle Beno, so let me speak to this real quick. So you have preventing crisis, and you have responding to crisis. You committed to a marriage, right? So in addition to that's the reality, you committed to death do us part, in better for worse, all this kind of stuff. You committed to and it's a honorable thing to honor that, because it actually means even when in the middle of crisis, you have to still honor that. That's something that we're not speaking to a lot these days. Oftentimes, the advice we get these days is that, hey, start preparing yourself, start planning your exit. How many times have you heard that in the last 3 months? Start planning your exit. That's not marriage. If you're going to make that part of your plan, don't go into marriage. Well, don't do that to yourself, okay? It's crisis. It's test. It's you're presented with a serious test, and it's an opportunity. It doesn't look like that initially. It's an opportunity to come out in triumph and actually succeed. And but now you're going to obviously shine your eyes, right? We're not going to be as stupid. Naturally, you won't even be that stupid, because if somebody stole from you and they cheated or they lie, naturally you're already looking over your shoulder and you're scared. So it's going to take a lot of work to get you to come down to trust again, to rebuild trust. It's going to take some work, So that's where I want to come in with this. Prevention, for those of you that are not married yet. Uncle Beno, come on the screen, I beg. It looks better when you're on the screen. Prevention is better than cure is for those of you that are just coming in fresh into this kind of stuff. Yes, that is key. For those of you inside of marriage already, unfortunately, you won't be able to run, because you committed to marriage, for better, for worse. But like I said, naturally, you're now looking over your shoulder because somebody has broken the trust. They betrayed you, right? And it's going to take more work than just judging them for you to rebuild trust again. If it was easy, run am, just leave. But I'm guessing it's not that easy, right? It's even planning your exit. What does that look like when you've had children with this person? That's not the easiest thing to decide. They will always have a say over your life. The email I read yesterday, that person said, she wrote a will that he should have little or nothing to say if anything ever happened to her. These are delusional solutions, because you are married to that person. So here is the fear. The fear that Yes TV Femi is expressing is that, so all these, you do things together, you say it's not by force, so you don't have to join finances with your husband, though. You know that, right?
Exactly.
You've never have to join forces in finances with your husband. You just have to agree. The only thing you have to do is be in agreement if you're going to stay married to that person. Now, when it comes to your personal finances, there are ways to agree where people can still feel safe. We can run a joint household without joining finances. You can still be fully transparent about the house you're building on your name. There's nothing. There's nothing. The issue is when you are building it and you are hiding.
Oh, I hope you don't make me laugh.
No. I'm building a house in Lekki. So you're not gonna tell me? I'm telling you now. I'm about to buy a land. I'm building a house in Lekki. So what happened to us doing forces together? You didn't mind? What happened to the deal we did together the other time? No, babe, we're good. I don't want to have to mess with what we have going on. That's good. Let me just handle that and you do your thing. It's another conversation. But he's not going to pretend that he didn't know that he messed money up in the past.
Yeah.
And he needs to earn that trust back. And if he's not able to earn that trust back, he's going to stress your life out to the point that you might actually just leave eventually. So transparency is not the same thing as you have to force finances together. I think that's the fear in the question.
Okay. Beyond
what do you think?
Beyond Braid said,
Jum.
That's okay, Jum. She said that's another problem on its own.
Which one?
No, maybe when you said that you can tell your man, I'm building a house or I'm about to buy land, and you go ahead and do your thing. I think maybe that's what
I could see that, but it doesn't have to be. Just if you know that there's been experiences in the past that made you question trust, then they really don't have a choice than to respect your decision to do things like that.
You see, MOPA, just like I'll just link Yes TV comment to what Beyond Braid said now.
Okay, you want me to pull it back on the screen?
Oh, I still have it. I remember it already.
Okay, all right, good.
You see, one thing I see from this comment is this. Before a man started,
we didn't give tip number 5 yet, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Before a man started changing houses document into his name, I'm suspecting that house is built in Africa or Nigeria.
Yes.
Because if it is here in America,
you have to sign off.
I don't know about London. He can't do that all by himself.
That's true. We don't know about London, but no, you can't do that here. You can't do that here.
Yeah. But if it is in Africa, everything is possible in Africa.
Thank you, Shopper Helper.
And one advice I usually give people like this is this. I tell sisters and I tell brothers, if you're gonna build house together, you want to do anything together in Nigeria, for instance, and it's going to be in you and your spouse's name, and you are both investing your money in that project. Exactly.
Thank you.
When the paper comes out, this is where my own street smartness comes in. Once the document of the house comes out, you, the wife, you must have the copy.
And make sure your name is on it too, right?
And your name is on it. You must have the copy. In fact, the copy should be in your possession. I'm not saying you should hide it from your husband or something, but just as a form of trust. And here is the reason why I usually suggest that. Now, if you are worried, so at this house, babe, keep the document. Or you make copies, you have your own copy. Let the man go and change the document later on, however he did it. If it become a court case or whatever, he's going to have to answer. But
okay, so Uncle Beno, in fact, I have a case right now where the guy's name... No, good point, Uncle Beno, good point. I have a case right now where it's not even that. The guy's name was on the house, but it doesn't even matter anymore. The land was actually double sold to him. You see, when you are dealing with landed properties and properties in Nigeria and all this kind of stuff, it's another conversation entirely.
Babao.
So is it even on your own name? It's not even on his own name. It's all of like Somebody else stole somebody else's land and sold to him.
Don't make me laugh, MOP. See, what I told my madam, say, babe, if I'm doing anything in Nigeria now, whatever money I'm using to do that thing, it has to be dividends from my investment. I will never go and work hard and use my sweat to do anything in Nigeria. What do you mean? Like, babe, if not 10 years, the investment go gather the money, make it reach me in Bram. I can't sweat and do something, and then I'll begin go fight again. Anyway, it's a sorry case, but to be
Okay, it's a sorry case. If we're talking about trust has been broken,
exactly.
it needs to be rebuilt. It's gonna take work on your part, of course, on his part. He needs to earn trust back, and he's going to try to drag you to forcefully give him trust.
Honestly,
And it's going to be voila. And you're still married to that person. Just focus on your duty as a wife, but you don't have to join finances together at the hip. You don't have to.
when it comes to finances, actually, MOP, my recommendation is simple.
Yeah.
Have a joint account, and at the same time, have your personal account. Don't ever agree to say, bring your salary, I bring my salary, we put it in.
I don't know why people keep suggesting that. I don't know why anybody has ever suggested that. Okay, what I learned from one of my clients is that what's his name, Dave Ramsey was suggesting that. It's a terrible suggestion.
Dave Ramsey, the same financial advisor.
Yeah, like you put in one pot and all this kind of stuff. How you define pot is the problem here. We can still have the one pot, but people should have some kind of financial independence on the money they are earning.
Exactly. My thing, no matter how you paint them, I will never put all my money inside the same account with you.
As a man, it's a terrible idea. See, this is my traditional man coming out now. Wait, hold on 1 second. Give me space. As a man, okay, come on, man, have some self-respect. Do you have some other things going on in terms of your dream, your future, your purpose, things you're building that does not necessarily involve your wife? Like, come on, have one joint account. That should be good enough to run the household.
Yep.
That should be good enough. You need some space to breathe. You need to allow. You need to let the poor breathe.
Let the poor breathe.
Okay? You need space as married couples. Jesus Christ. Who is coming up with all these crazy ideas?
Okay, I beg, I can't laugh. My belly don't they pay me. Shishi, make I go work. Because I'm in love. I love you. I never see a person like you before.
I will give you the word, but I must have some space to breathe. And I want you to have some space to breathe too as a lady.
Yep.
I don't need to know how you buy your pata and your brassiere and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to know any of that.
Yeah.
I don't need to know every detail of how the rundown of exactly how much you pay for tomato paste yesterday. I don't need that. I don't need to know exactly how much you paid to clean up our household, to run our house, or to set up our house, to run the home, to build the home.
Yep.
I don't need any of that.
Yep.
See, some of our modern men are also digging a deeper hole for themselves. They want to do this equality thing by force. They've been buying into the equality thing, so they think they must be equal. You know, we agree to everything. But you can just rest sometimes too, and let her decide some of the things that women would decide when it comes to the home.
That is a completely wrong advice. Don't do it. You created joint account for family management and for a financial emergency.
That's
you have
it.
That money. You come on. You don't need all that.
That's it.
Okay?
That's it.
And you need your financial freedom as a woman and as a man. Even if na small change, it's still good to say now you they control how you spend it.
Yeah, if I know how much you're spending on shoes, let me just be sure tell you right now. If I know how much you're spending on shoes, I'll be pissed off. Okay,
Baba, there is nothing you can do. My own, they like to buy bag. I know people do anything.
So here's the solution. I don't need to know how much you spend on it. I don't need to know. Even sometimes because my wife buy me stuff a lot, and she'll buy me like, why are you buying that? And then she'll be like, is it not good? Do I not like it? Okay, I like it. Thank you.
Abio.
But the point here is some level of freedom, space for each other. Now, let me say this. Some of you might actually have figured something out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying here. But don't be surprised if somebody has built resentment in for a long time because they really weren't on board. They just felt forced into it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of couples dealing with that. They felt like they didn't really, but they didn't want to come off as they are dividing the family. But then 3 years later, they found out that the money you invested has gone down the drains.
Yep.
And now they're like, now I'm forced to tell them, but you were in love. You chose to do this with your wife. Because I have to tell them that. That's the reality. You know?
Yeah. No. Some things as a man, you're not supposed to know some things. Your wife give money to his dad or his mom. You are not funny faces because you have access to the account. You see how much he sent to her mom or your dad.
And then you are surprised that they are calling you a financial abuser. Because you won't let them spend what they want to spend.
You don't need all that, to be frank. Or you send money to your mom or your dad because your wife is in your this thing. She now so, and then she's like, is that? Oh, come on. You don't need that. To be honest, I don't advise anybody to do that. Everybody keep your private account. If you need, because of children, you definitely need joint account. And because of emergencies and stuff like that.
Yes, of course. You're running a home.
Yeah, it depends on how you run your home. Joint account is mainly for your wife to have access to do her thing. That's the way I see it. You know, women runs the home, to be frank. So,
yeah. That's the reality. That's society standards. And if you're going to break that rule, you better know what you're doing. That's all I'm going to tell you.
That's true.
Okay, society standard is that the woman runs the home. If you have to break the rule, which again, there's nothing wrong, but you need to know what you're doing when you're doing that. You can't just assume that it's okay with the other human being when you come up with stuff like that, because in your mind it just makes sense. Let's just do it together. Like the other person is not saying they don't want to do together. They just want they want to be able to breathe.
Abio, no. So in the scenario painted by Yes TV, what I would conclude on that is this. You see, before you get to a level whereby you are doing things with your partner, you're building houses, you're having investment together and all that, it means that you trust him.
Yeah, you trust. That's what happened.
Really trust him.
Business went wrong. Business gone wrong, yeah.
Now, if business didn't work out, it's a different thing. But in the case, before you get to this point whereby he sold everything or he changed this in his name and everything, something has happened.
Yeah, that's fraud, and that's just sad that happened.
You weren't paying attention. See, something have changed somehow. You didn't pay attention, and that's where I would say, once you notice changes, open your eye, shine your eye quick. Not be fight. You move in silence first. What is going on? What is happening? Okay, where did they go on?
Yeah,
you feel me? Yeah. So you just have to be smart.
So based on what you're saying, Okubeno, the next best question is that what can you learn from it? What can you learn from it? Where did you miss it?
Exactly.
You know, that's an asset. That's an opportunity when you actually take the time to process that. What is greater than not living a life of no transparency or anything like that. Again, if you decide that you want to build houses after such an event and your husband doesn't know about it, it's justified. But here's the thing. Let me.
People are asking you a lot of questions to do.
I said this now during the weekend. I said we're coming back to doing the Lord's work. We don't want to get drowned in Yuel Edochie's story.
Where is that Jum's question again?
No, I see it. I'll put it up in a second. It's here.
Okay.
She has a question here. So let me say this. What can you learn from that event is really what you need to figure out. If you are trying to live a life of just concealing everything from your spouse,
Yeah.
it's going to hurt you. You might be able to protect yourself in terms of finances, but you will hurt yourself in other area. Your quality of life will be much lower.
Absolutely.
We need to address this. We need to get to, if you're still married to this person, we need to get to the bottom of why they would think it's okay to commit fraud against their own partner. We need to get to the bottom of that. Because if you push it under the rug, it's going to come back. It's like fire. It's going to come back up again in another way from a blind spot.
Yep.
It's a dangerous thing to do. And playing defense, in other words, building houses or spending money or doing investments where you're not capable of sharing that journey with your partner is also dangerous.
Yep.
So it's not going to be as easy as just protect yourself, have your own money. No, that's never a good enough solution, ever. The only thing that does is to empowers you to be able to move on if you want to leave the marriage. That's all it can do for you, okay? But in terms of your ability to trust a partner again in the future, a very necessary ingredient to the quality of your life, you will still struggle with that.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry. So since you guys are not going to let us get to tip number 5, let's address Junju's question here. MOP, what if a man likes to invest in people in Nigeria, but the woman likes to invest in property here in abroad?
What does she mean by
What
likes
you
to invest in people in Nigeria? Is that like spending money on people in Nigeria?
Yeah, like what do you mean by that? Invest in people like his brothers and sisters,
Sisters.
in-laws.
Woman like to invest in property here in abroad. She might need to clarify that by investing in people.
She meant property.
Okay.
Property in Nigeria and property.
Okay. And the woman likes to invest in property here in abroad.
Yeah. What do you think?
This is a matter of communication, and this is business talk actually.
Yeah.
This is
I agree.
purely business talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not strange. I've gone through this multiple times with my partner until we finally decide on what we want to do, and then we move. You see, for investing in Nigeria comes in two folds. MOP, just follow me in case if I'm right or wrong. Just
I deal with you.
put me to okay. Investing in Nigeria from a man's perspective come in two folds. One, when men invest in Nigeria, it is to show that they are successful and they are doing what everyone is doing. When we come to America, we see America like an opportunity to go and make money and then come back and show our accomplishments back home. All right. So for men, it's all about status. It's all about accomplishments.
Significance.
Yes, that is one. And it also comes in form of competition. If you go to Nigeria, and you'll be surprised that some people that you thought they are not really doing well, some friends that we left behind and things like that, when you see what they have accomplished, you'll be like, what?
Many of them are doing better, self.
Me, where are they abroad since? I never even reached this level. So for men, some men invest in Nigeria just for that ego thing, like relay me Nigeria. So that is one part.
Money for flat. In fact, car many man parking lot me.
Yes.
Even
though the house is cracking or people are living there for free and they
For
are calling
free.
to come and maintain it again, So that is one aspect to look at it. Two, some men believe that investing in Nigeria, because some people actually build rental properties, short lengths,
Right.
Airbnb and stuff like that in Nigeria.
Yep.
Some people believe that, okay, if I invest in Nigeria, it will bring money.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have that kind of idea too. Even there are still some things in the pipeline now. And I'll give you an example. If you build an event center, a hall, a very fancy big hall in somewhere in Lagos right now, every weekend you will cash out.
Yeah, it's big money.
Yeah, if you build it in a way that you can also convert it to club and other things, every weekend you could see money.
Like a
So
multi-purpose hall, and it's even easier to serve
exactly.
alcohol if you want to go through that process. Here, you need $200,000 to have liquor license.
What are we saying? So you know what I'm saying now. So I think in this case now, just as painted by my sister, if we look at it from the man angle, it usually means two things like I just explained. Now
Right.
coming back to America, one thing, because she said the woman likes to invest in property here in abroad.
Abroad.
I know of America for one thing. Many of our Nigerian women, once they come to this America, they are not nursing the dream of say they are going back to Nigeria because their children are here,
Yes.
and women will definitely stay where their kids are. Okay, and two, Nigerian women are very smart. A lot of them have actually investigated real estate business in America, and they have discovered that having property in America is one of the easiest way you can quickly break out of the rat race.
Absolutely.
You know, but some men don't see it like that. Some men will just say, Kitulo Yawon Bank, I should go and borrow another
They're
money.
saying borrow.
Hey,
House that you don't really own.
You know, so that is why I say this is a matter of business discussion. It's just about exposure. It's just about letting the other person see it from your angle. However, if I have to make a recommendation, this is what I would suggest that couples in this kind of situation, this is what they should do. They should both agree that, okay, let's do this. If we're going to invest in Nigeria, let's complete that and then let's do this one here. Or let's do this one here first and take the proceeds from what we're getting here to do the one you want to do in Nigeria. And for me, if you ask me to choose right now, I would say that it's better they invest here first, because the currency and economy is not stable in Nigeria.
But I can't comprehend the idea of doing business with Nigeria as a nation. You see, I understand everything you said, though, right? If you invest into naira and the naira is supposed to stay as naira and become naira in income, I understand it. But that it will come back in dollar.
No way.
So how do you say that? How do you say that? Basic. Yes, that's basic. That's doing business dollar to naira and expecting it to come back in dollars.
Lie.
Ask Dangote. Even a whole Dangote was on the internet crying a few weeks ago. Anyway, I think what the first thing that comes to mind with the question is diversification.
Yep.
Again, it's a communication, right, between you and your spouse. If they're suggesting it, just like I like it, babe, let's just sit down and create some kind of plan around diversification. That means we're going to be invested in both sides. It's going to balance out. It's going to mitigate risk. You can have probably a big offshoot investing in Nigeria. Like your money can go far very quickly if you do it right in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Here, you're competing with everybody else that have access to the same real estate and stuff like that. So the money will definitely grow for sure. It's protected, but it's slower.
Faster, safe. Even in Texas, here is faster.
So it depends in what area. Like, so let me use that example. Even here within the United States, at one point, if you go and invest in Detroit when it was dilapidated, your money will go faster because nobody's wanting to go there, right? But if you want to stay in the city in the middle of Houston, you pay big money. Your money is for sure will grow because of everything that's going on, development and stuff, but it'll be slower because you are taking less risk. Where you take higher risk, there's higher rewards, but also you can lose your money that fast too.
Oh, sharp.
Right? So it's a conversation. It's a diversification conversation. It doesn't have to be bass between you and your husband.
No.
It's just a conversation.
It's exactly conversation. This is just business conversation, sir.
Yeah.
Business communication, purely business, you know?
Yeah.
And instinct too comes to play at times. You remember one time when I was cracking joke and I said 3 times that I've invested in Nigeria. As I'm speaking with you right now, I have LSC in Nigeria, I have foundation, I've done a couple of business in Nigeria.
You have a few things going on because you were trying to become.
Three,
I don't blame you, Baba.
two out of those businesses. Oh, crashing.
Why you crash Ibada? Ibada Risha. Share Risha.
Oh, crashing. And you know the funniest part of it? My madam actually warned me.
They always want you.
Both
They always
occasions.
want you. Yeah, they always want you.
You know when you don't stay with person for so long, you go understand them
Yeah.
spiritually and in every other. The moment she look at it, I explain everything. She listen and then she finish, and then she be like, "Babe, this plan looks so good on paper, but my spirit
But inside here, inside my belly,
don't do it."
channels of my spirit. Inside my belly, I feel something else.
Women be witch, oh. Women be witch. I lost the business. I lost my money. I did the other one again. Oh, what to Jonah? When I'm about to do the third one, madam pulling money come out.
Yeah, you can go and do your thing. Sure.
Trust my brother. You know, say my coconut head na extra. I went ahead and did the third one. He born again. Now me go sit down myself say, madam just say, madam just say all of a sudden for like 6 months.
I have an account at GT Bank. This is not something I'm proud of. I can still find something to do in Nigeria, even if it's as simple as investing in human resources. Instead of people working for me in other countries, they can work for me from Nigeria. There are ways to manage that. But I have a GTB account in Nigeria. I think it has like 1,000 naira in it. That 1,000 naira has been there for 15 years. And they send me email all the time. There's always this me person that's trying to like your personal person consultant that will help you if you want to reactivate your account, blah blah blah. That 1,000 I don't decline in terms of value since then.
You see that Nigeria owner now discussion for another day. I have GTB, UBA and the likes. My LSC account, everything with all the money I left, the money just they come down.
Just for everybody to be clear, I didn't say I have 100,000 naira there. 1,000 naira.
Baba, the money just they come down, just like Sister Nat to say now. The dollar just they do like now. So the money they come and then they remove their own there every time.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes when I see the statement, I go just laugh. Say this Nigeria.
Okay, so I actually got a statement from them.
Oh my God.
I got let me share this so it doesn't look like I'm lying. I would like to show this real quick. Look at this. You see this? You see the logo GT Bank monthly statement, right? You see that?
Forget these people, Gary.
Yeah, you see that? They said, let me see. They tell me how much I have here.
If they never remove them for text messages.
They still sending me stuff, Baba. Did that thing,
They go charge you for text messages and all that. No worry, Baba, just let it go.
I said, so yeah, not to say my rule is investment here before Nigeria because the way dollar is going up and down, no be me and them. Apart from dollar, Nigeria policy is not stable. Your house can be demolished at any time. So you're exposed to so much risk. The only thing I would advise people to invest in Nigeria is human resource. Right, human resource. You're only investing 1 week at a time, or at most 1 month at a time when you pay them, and they are giving you services. You can't lose, and you can manage access to your. Let's say you're in digital or something. You can manage access to whatever they're helping you with, and you can get rid of them if you need to get rid of them. You're just managing people essentially. Some people will say, Nigerian people, they can't work for you. I said, no, they're just people. You can manage them,
Of course, like I have right now, the moment they monetize my other channel, I have to hire one other staff.
Okay.
My PA, go. I have 2 assistants. The one is doing blogging, the other one manage finances and every other thing. They also manage my stuff here for me in America. Even as I go school now, sometimes if I have
Yes,
some,
now they will even help you with your schoolwork.
I will just send it to them. Say, whoa, Tosi, I will go
Whip up a report. Yeah.
let me do this one. If sometimes when I see some better video that explain my courses better, I will
Yeah.
just go to that and say transcribe this one for me. They are even
Yeah.
happy because sometimes they, for a week or two they may not have anything to do for me, and they will be like,
Yeah.
boss, wait till happen. I'll be like, don't worry now. When I have something for you to do, we'll do it.
Yeah.
I do graphics work here. I do magazine. I print brochure. In fact, where that brochure? If I show you my library now, I have like almost 6 or 7 brochure here. I've done so many. Anytime I collect the job, I just hire guys from Nigeria. They do the graphics, everything.
Yep. They will do better job than you will do.
They will send it back to me.
Yeah.
I publish. Even my client will be like, how did you do this amazing job? This thing is so fast. I just say, don't worry about that. I'm in charge. So it's really good if you invest in human resources in Nigeria. Like people who are creating content and stuff like this. I do get people from Nigeria to help you create content. It might take you a while to find a good one.
You have to train them. You have to have standard operating procedures for them. You have to actually have a structure. But it's one of the best investments you'll probably make. Anything else, investing in property in Nigeria? I don't advise that too. Thank you, Nat, to appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate you. Yeah. Yes, TV say, please do this more. This collabo is fire. I love it. Help me ask Uncle Beno. I've been asking him forever.
Baba,
you know what, collaborate with me.
You know, say your guys still they run around now. You know now, Baba. In fact, you know, say I know they come up for backstage. Once you know see me for backstage, maybe you know say start to don't hook me be that.
We have to keep an eye on the money, Uncle Beno. I don't blame you.
For almost 4 days now, I never go drag my Chidima. She said never drag me. So maybe you know say something.
It's been quiet. It's been quiet in the backstage all day today. It's quiet. Tip number 5: camouflaged confrontations. Camouflaged confrontations. Avoid rigid or frequent check-ins as they can feel confrontational. You know, something that men like to call nagging. Like, what about that thing? What about, like, okay, I would handle it, and you just. Yeah. So check-ins can happen, but it's all in the tone as well. Just avoid rigid and frequent check-ins as they can feel. Remember, feelings, they don't have to be your intentions. You don't mean to nag. You don't mean to be confrontational, but they come off like that. To a typical man, be mindful of your partner's personality and cater to your own feelings accordingly. So remember, you don't have to trade one for the other. Treat guests as your personal guests. One of the places where we get it wrong, we're still saying in-law. These are your family. Treat the guest as your personal guest. That also includes. Okay, let me finish reading it. Treat guests as your personal guests, and if needed, respectfully inquire directly about their plans. It's okay if you are in conversation with the guests that are in your own house. And there are ways that you can actually find out what their plans are. If they're already in your house and you feel like you're in limbo, there are ways that you will fact find and they will tell you with their own mouth what their plans are. If you're not patient enough, you might find that you feel the need to say, so when are you leaving my house? When
are you leaving my house?
Of course, not that, right? So, when are you leaving? It's not going to be when are you leaving my house. It's are you even friends with these people that are in your house? Right? Are you having? They will tell you their whole plan. If you are close enough to them and they feel safe around you, they will come to you first before they go to their own brother.
Yep.
Right. So the rigid, everything must be in a certain way. back off of that, if you happen to have that kind of personality, I'm like that. I like to know what we're up to. But it's a double-edged sword too, because I might be overwhelming to a person who is just free, who just want to banter and want to, want to chat, but everything is fun for them. I'm not always feeling fun stuff. I like to have fun, but I also need to know what I'm doing. So camouflage confrontations.
You see, that's frequent check-ins. Even besides guests, even if we're not talking about you having your in-laws as a guest in your house and all that, even check-ins with your partner, it can even trigger something else.
Yeah.
Not to even talk of say you take style. And I think Nigerians, we are really worst at doing this one, Seth.
Yeah.
Oh God, mommy. Mommy. All right, Shati Simura. Meaning, mom. Mama, I be like, sure you don't prepare small, mama. I don't help
Prepare to go where? This is my son's house. What do you mean? In fact, go and cook for me right now. Okay, I need to eat soup and it cannot have pepper. I know your own have pepper. Cook a separate soup for me so I can eat pepper. So I can avoid pepper.
Even the husband, they will frustrate the husband. Hey, babe, you don't check in with mama. You never even talk of where mama they go. When is mama leaving? Just don't do it, please.
Yeah.
Please. Just don't do it.
I'll be careful with that. Instead, you're better off. Again, everything you've learned up to now is that didn't work. Write them down. They did not work.
Yeah.
And
like I said, the key to this whole thing is between you and your husband.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's just between you and your husband.
Yeah.
You just have to plan this thing out before the guests arrive in the first place.
Imagine if you're the one coming to your husband to actually tell him when they plan to leave, and he's actually learning it from you. These are his own parents. Right?
Imagine.
But you know their plan more than he does.
Yep.
Imagine if you're free like that. Yep. Right?
So you just have to be careful, and all these things are not that big. It's not that an issue if you just understand that this thing is time-based. Mama go come, mama will go. In-law go
and if they come and you didn't know when they're going to go, they will use their mouth to tell you because of your wisdom. As a woman, they will use their own mouth to tell you.
Yep. You know, something happened here in the US. When these parents, when they come like that and they continue to give them visiting visa, after a while, they will start giving them longer stays. And the more mama they come, by the time mama will go back to Nigeria, this is a real true life incident here. By the time mama will go back to Nigeria, mama go done fresh, looking good. Or in Peking go give her better
winter skin.
When mama go enter Nigeria like this, mama they ball. All her mates in her house, they go come, they go back, and I buy everything, everything day. So, but the more mama begin they come now, mama they enjoy the stay. Now, the wife was very, very accommodative, a nice woman, but the wife was kind of being choked.
That's a major part of this conversation.
Yeah,
being smothered in your own house.
Yeah. So the wife is kind of being choked, and the choking is not from mama herself. What happened is that once mama come like that, the other siblings of her husband around, they will start coming to visit, and they will bring their kids.
Yep.
Every weekend,
the whole house is rowdy.
Yeah.
And so, they come and visit grandma and then they leave. And then, So
it becoming choking. One time, the wife now, when mama went to Nigeria and mama was coming back again, The wife now told the husband that when mama come this time, can mama go and stay with your brother or
Hey,
spend some time with your sister in
hey.
Houston?
Ish.
Wahala. Not Houston,
Omo,
because there is this city, this neighboring city close to Houston. Now all these people wake up money small.
just go to the other side itself. One time. Just one time.
So did you know say when mama is coming this time, can mama go and stay with your brother or go to your sister's house in Houston?
How did it
You
go?
know, just for mama to
To
move around.
rotate around everybody. How did it go?
Now, the husband didn't have issue with it, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Not until the husband now called the sister and the brother and say, ti mama about him because mama now has extended 2 years stay.
It's always from another angle now.
So now call the sister and brother and say, when mama is coming this time, I think mama will have to stay with you guys for a while. And then let's discuss how we are going to rotate it, even if it is.
Did they say what's wrong? Is your wife complaining? What's wrong? Can you not control your wife anymore?
Baba, you get where the wahala came from. The brother did not even said much. The brother only said that because she's not married to a Nigerian, he doesn't think his place is the best for mama to come.
Hey. So is that Nigerian wife that Yagudo Jeorie?
My sister, they don't hear this thing. I'm like, we will remove this side because if I see,
No, you don't know why they connect with you. Okay, I have 3 different cases like this right now. Okay, trust me. Continue. I'm listening.
The worst part was that the brother said, because the brother is married to America now, and his place with 2 kids, so he said his place is not convenient for mama. You know, waiting day now. The sister, after the husband told the sister, the one in Houston, she did not say nothing. No, they had the conversation. They go. The next day, the sister called the wife directly, and that is where the whole thing exploded. And the next thing she said is that, are you trying to tell me my mom cannot live in my brother's house?
Yep.
My brother called me yesterday and said you are suggesting that mama should go around. And the husband, because later when the whole thing scattered, the husband said he did not say the wife suggested that he was the one who actually felt that since mama will stay longer now, let mama live with them. And because like the brother that said the mama can't stay with them because of his wife, he usually bring, in fact, the children now in house that they did 247 when mama come. But the sister called the wife and said, are you saying my mom can no longer stay in my brother's house? Is that what you are saying? That was it to MOP. And to the credit of this sister, I really, really respect her. She's not somebody, at least I don't know them for a while now. She's not the type that really vests like that, but the woman vests this time. I now
So Uncle Beno, let's talk to our brothers for a second here. If we're seeing repeated situations like this, at some point as a grown ass man, you say it's not just you and your family.
Yep.
We just gotta come up with a solution that it's not just women trying to be evil. Right? We need to come up with a solution that's holistic enough that other people can learn from you. Everybody can still be happy.
Yep.
As opposed to, oh no, these women are just becoming modern women. They don't like family around. Like if you see the way you were telling that story, it's almost like you're about to say, they fight back, but there's corner that led to the same place, which is there's a dispute.
Yep.
There's a conflict within family. It's our responsibility to calm our asses down. It's not about your emotions or your sentiments.
Yep.
If other people feel differently from you, it's not that you are better than them or that they are better than you. It just means they feel different. It's not that deep. Let's come up with something that works for everyone.
At all. it was crazy, my brother. It was crazy because the issue it really blew out of proportion because the lady was so angry and you owe them all. You know our people now when they vex. So she told the husband's sister that I can't believe for the past 4 years that Mama has been coming and going.
So this
Mama,
one time they turned it to a complete
I
basbos.
become big issue. So now the lady was so angry, and then she now insisted that there, this time Mama go live with your sister. No be smart, you know.
So that marriage is not going to be settled because that's going to put the husband in the middle.
No, the husband really did a good thing. In fact, I give him credit. The husband did the right thing. The husband have to extend Mama coming and insisted that Mama, you will either have to go and live with my sister, or the three of us will agree we rent apartment for you when you come.
No, you just stay in Nigeria. I'll come and visit you when I feel like it.
That was it. So it dragged on, and when the issue get to Mama too, when he extend the visiting of Mama, say, Mama, I'm sorry, you can't come now. We have to sort this thing out. The same sister called Mama and told Mama so many things. If you know how our people be, he expand them, padded them, everything.
Yeah, because you're painting pictures, and when you're painting pictures, people get to interpret it how they deem fit, right?
You know, to me, I love the Mama. The Mama did what I think a mother should do.
What did she do?
The Mama called from Nigeria, said she want to talk to the wife, and then the husband, they drag that, but finally the husband called Mama back and give the phone to the wife, and Mama was begging the wife and praying for her and begging her not to be angry. That she understand that
That's the last thing that she wants to happen now. She doesn't want that kind of drama around her own name.
To America, and you have been taking care of me as my daughter. Please forget what my daughter talk. The Mama pleaded with her and everything, and she said, well, it's okay, Mama, you know, say we no get problem, but I not just like say your daughter, I mentioned the auntie name, she talk like this, just because of this one time we be say you go live for long, and we say we make you move around, you know. But the Mama beg her, he beg him picking, say no one made the fight. The Mama say, in fact, you know, they come again. If that
She won't want to come. If she's a woman with wisdom, she won't want to come.
What is going on? So the reason I brought this story out is that, you see, when it comes to this mother-in-law thing, and the camouflage, the number 5 point you raised right now,
The camouflage confrontations.
this thing, it get as it be.
Yeah, you don't mean it to happen, but that's exactly how it's being received.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, assuming the husband is not somebody who has that wisdom to know that, come on, Mama don't.
That's it. Wisdom.
My wife has
Wisdom.
never said, Mama didn't. And even the husband too know. We all live in America now. Who no one free daycare? And when you bring all these children come, who is cleaning the house at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's not as simple as, they will clean after they say, no, I need to breathe. Like, no, keep your children in your house for the next 3 years, okay? Not everybody is open to everybody just like all over you all the time. Once in a while, show kid up okay. There, small. You don't wait until everything is destroyed before you realize that not everybody is open to just everybody overwhelming them like that. You know?
And that's why I blame the sister, because you should put yourself in other people's shoes. We all live in this country together. We know the challenges. We know how stressful this thing could be. You know, don't just act as if all of a sudden you dey Houston here, all of a sudden you can't say the wife na problem just because they say make una rotate mama they come for
no, Uncle Ben, let me just tell you like this. Let me be a little bit harsh. There are a lot of stupid people everywhere, okay? Yeah, there are, you know. And my goal is that we'll continue to encourage people to choose not to be stupid. It's not your point of view is not all that it is. This is very important when it's personal level relationships. Very important. You need to understand that that person is seeing something else. They're having a different experience from you. And if you're not listening at all, then it's only a matter of time before they kick you to the curb. They're in a relationship with you because you're getting some kind of value from them. If they kick you to the curb, you will feel the pain. You might not see it up front. You might think you have the upper hand. Eventually, you're going to hurt yourself. You know. Well, let me hear your last word, Uncle Bendo. Let's round up. Thank you, $4.99 from Jum Jum. Thank you, Jum Jum. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jum Jum.
And my second troublemaker, backstage warrior.
Thank you, Jum Jum.
Jum Jum, now another backstage warrior. Wahala sister. Well, this is what I'm going to say about this managing your in-laws topic.
Right.
First, to the ladies out there, all married ladies, God bless you. Thank you for all you do. It's not easy. Frankly speaking, it's not easy to have your in-law come around and live with you for 3 or 6 months, especially.
Period. It's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
I do understand that for the entire period they're gonna live with you. If the in-law is a shady one, is ungrateful kind of in-law, or the wasabi, the lack of respect for boundaries kind of in-law, there's some of them will even want to choke you for that 6 months they are living with you. Please bear in mind, my sister, these in-laws are coming from Africa. They are coming with African mentality. These in-laws are coming with their own cultural beliefs and tradition. And MOP has did a very wonderful job highlighting those 5 key elements. You can come back and watch this video, or even if MOP can share those tips in his community, please take note of that. These people are coming with their tradition and culture. They are coming with their mindset. They are coming with, this is my son's house. Oh, Momilo Fair, my son married you. He's the head of, they are coming with all kind of BS. Now, remember what I said. In my own case, the way we go around this is, my madam and I, we pull out the calendar, period. What is the time frame?
Yes, sir. Let's start counting down.
And from the moment we pick the person up from airport, we start the countdown.
Yep. Because you're on the same page.
So please be on the same page with your spouse and understand that this person that is coming is not going to live with you forever. But that short period they're going to live with you, if it is not well managed by both of you, that can put a damage to your marriage.
Lasting damage.
Okay?
Yeah.
That can even be the only time you get to have those in-laws around you. And the impression that they will have after that, the in-laws might go and say, my daughter-in-law is a devil. He has bewitched my son. She is commanding, they will say all kind of things. But work with your husband. And on the flip side, let me advise you, my brothers, you are the head. And like I said at the beginning of this show in the chat, the responsibility of how well your home will be for the time frame you're going to have your parents around lies in your hand. You are the man. You have to be. Look, this is why MOP have preached it here several times, and I think sometimes on my platform I do preach it too. You have to make your wife your friend. When we talk about marry your best friend, make your wife your friend. We know what we're talking about. When your wife is your friend, it is way easier for her to communicate her concern. And it is super easier for you to communicate your concern. So if your parent is coming over, she's your friend. You both will
your
talk.
Your partner for life.
Yeah.
Your life partner.
You will tell her, babe, I know for this period where my parent they come, it's not going to be easy. What do you think we can do? How can I be of help? What can I do to make this easier? You know, if your wife is hearing stuff like that, it simply means that you put her emotions into consideration. Remember the emotional intelligence.
It's the
MOP.
emotions. It's not your stupid right and wrong. It's the emotions.
Once you start telling your wife, babe, I know it's gonna be tough. When mama go come now, things go to happen. How can I help? What do you think I can do? You know you will be going to work, coming back, children are still there. What do you think? Do I have to adjust my schedule? Just tell me what I should do. Now you are speaking.
Yeah.
Now your wife knows that you recognize that your mom or father coming over is an extra burden. You already know the extra word. Ordinary one person can't live with you, self. Even if you don't do anything for that person, the water with that person they use, the electricity way in the
yes.
box.
Yeah, it's America now.
So please, my brothers, marriage is not war. Marriage is easy. You just have to be the one to recognize the qualities in your wife and to see your wife as your friend.
Yes,
and
highlight it.
If you don't protect her, once her emotion and feelings is damaged or affected, oh my God, that bounces here anyway.
Wait now, Kubena, let me help you play it. This is what's going to happen.
MOP, you know they slap people again.
I try not to.
MOP, I beg now. No, they slap people.
I try not to.
That's where
I just want us to get it right. I feel pain when I know people can actually have better experience. Yeah. And they choose to hurt themselves. Exactly. It gets to me, yeah.
Exactly. Like I keep saying, marriage is sweet. Honestly, once you are selfless, once you think about your partner, how can I make this person happy? It not be money. Once you just
they will reciprocate. It's called law of reciprocity. They will reciprocate. Multiply it and reciprocate, especially if it's a woman that's multiplying. That's what she naturally does.
Oh man, you just have to do a couple of things to show that you give them that grace, you value their point of view and
their point of view. Yeah.
When I came here, I told you MOP, I was supposed to do my show 3:00.
Thank you so much,
no worry, Baba. Yeah. I was already in the studio and everything, and then my wife called me. I said, babe, the temperature is 106 outside. My son likes to go to school riding his bike.
Okay.
And my middle daughter just started middle school. Now, the bus used to drop them in front of my house before. Now, they drop them in the main road. So she had to walk down to the house.
Okay.
So my wife told me, babe, it's 106 outside. Can you go and pick this boy up? I said, the guy went to school with his bike, and I think he want to come back with bike. So I was about to start the show. Then I remember that, 106. This boy will go the right bike in this hot temperature.
Yeah.
And my area is kind of reserved kind of area. Everybody, they did their house most time. If this boy go for his bike, nobody will even see him. I said, like live show, what
show my drone, yo.
Baba, I have to get up. I go pick
him up. All right.
And I say, I told him, I'm here to pick you up. He's like, Daddy, don't worry. I'll drive my bike. I said, no.
Nah, bro. It's 106. Get your ass in the car.
I drove straight to my daughter's school. I pick it up. Now, where I'm going is this. As we were coming back, I called my wife. My phone is linked with my car anyway. I called my wife. And when she picked, the first thing she heard were the children's voice. And she's like, babe, you go pick them? I said, yes, the weather is too. I said, thank you. I was so worried. I know say you did go, I'm like, no, I don't already put the life up. Why am I bringing this example in this now? I can say, babe, it's not too far from home now. Is it not just 2-3 minutes bike ride? But God forbid something happens.
Yeah.
It means I neglected her concern. These are our children, remember.
That thing, you will never forgive yourself. That thing will haunt you.
Baba. And remember, women love their children the most. Make every man just know now. Once they get children, forget to your love now, second grade love.
There's no competition on our children. Our children,
So as a man, you just have to recognize the fact that women are not daft. They are intelligent. They have emotions. They are smart. They know what they are doing. And when they suggest something, don't just look at it as, how dare you say, no, no. Put
Don't do
yourself in
that.
their
Don't
shoes.
do that. Don't do that specifically. Don't do that to yourself.
No, don't do that. MOP, thank you for having me. Oh. My
Uncle
sister,
Beno, thank
chat,
you.
appreciate you all.
We have to do something. We have to set up something. Even if we're going live on your end at the same time or something, we have to set up something. But
No
God
problem,
will help
Baba.
us.
No problem.
Yeah.
We'll get there in Jesus' name.
All
No,
right.
I heard you talk about your Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram.
Because you love YouTube so much, you and Atibi now YouTube be in the house. That's why you know they do Instagram.
I said, show me some love on IG. I even get more love on TikToks more than IG. And I spend more time on IG. So I'm like, these people, you know, but I think it's the algorithm is a bastard. So
But you are not
sometimes you have to ginger them, you know.
Gen Z, if to say you do Instagram, they do 6-pack or they do one stupid.
I start dancing.
Or give some nasty.
They want me to start dancing on Instagram. Can you imagine?
Oh, Baba do this one. Maybe you go Instagram, go tell them say, divorce your husband when he do this. Or divorce. No. Women go quick figure out. Now men.
Start planning your exit. If you cough, start planning your exit right now.
Divorce her. Just go there, tell the man, divorce your wife. If your wife do hairstyle, wake her color, divorce her.
Kick her back to the street where she belongs. She belongs to the streets.
Mopi, thank you, Baba. Thank you.
Boss, take care. Love to the family. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to mess up this live stream by doing anything extra or anything like that. Shout out to Uncle Beno for coming here to elevate the conversation today. I gave 5 tips, okay? Help me share. If people would just calm down and take care of themselves first. Always first, take care of yourself. Own your own reality. If they can just do that, it goes a long way in any of these conversations. So we'll continue. We'll be back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. for another masterclass. Let me just say this real quick. I want to say a quick shout out to Beyond Braids, Jum, for the $5 super chat or sticker. Shout out to Life with Natu for the $10. I appreciate you. Shout out to Yes TV for the $20. You guys, this goes a long way anytime you do this. So thank you. Genesis 22:24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Listen, this is one of those verses you can say it's taken out of context. Just take it, hold it to your heart, gentlemen. Take it to the bank, make it literal. Everything else will fall in line. Okay. Your parents will love your wife. You will be happy. You'll be the happiest you've ever been. But this is how this is literally what this is the key here. This is the leverage point for you gentlemen. Ladies, culture is part of what we're dealing with here. So you have to be super aware. Take care of yourself. Don't overthink this. Don't turn this into a divorce conversation. It's really just a matter of understanding. But this is the part where you can put on your seduction cap. This is where you can put on your seduction skills. It is coming from a place. When you take your time to understand where it's coming from, it's going to help you a lot. Okay, it also will reciprocate, you know. But you have to be super patient with yourself. Don't all this societal weight and all this kind of stuff. You just need to understand it. A little small gestures here goes a long way. In terms of somebody living with you, think of it as a sacrifice, okay? But like I said, if you are friends with the people that are living with you, they will actually tell you everything you need to tell them. They will make you even a closer friend than your husband, who is actually families with them, right? And there's a lot of strength and weaknesses, dynamics in all of this. These things can be very difficult, so it's easier said than done. With support, it's super easier. It gets easier because you have a support system, people you can rub minds with, people that can coach you and tell you with respect to every small crisis that might happen. You might have questions and things like that. because it's not going to be as simple as a 4-hour, 22 minutes live stream. Tolerable boundaries. Tip number 2, managing culture. Tip number 3, effective communication. Tip number 4, emotional intelligence. Tip number 5, avoid camouflaged confrontations, meaning they're not necessarily your intentions, but you can in fact be received as confrontational. You just need to be self-aware enough to understand what I'm saying there. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Hopefully you've been enlightened or educated and educated. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Take care. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you
You
deserve.
deserve.